Go. All right. All right, we're being recorded. Today is March the 13th, Thursday. This is the hearing room for the Board of License and Inspection Review. Once again, my name is Ralph Pincus. I'm acting chair, and I have two members of the board with me here today.
I would charge him extra.
Sorry, my name is Beverly Penn.
My name is Ralph Steve Pettit.
And we are a panel today of three, which enables us to hear, because the city charter enables three members of the board to hear an appeal. So it's a possibility. We hope to get through every case today. We may end up having to call the hearings early. Okay. So this is a formal hearing. We expect that everyone will be appropriately attired. And if you're on Zoom, that you'll be in a room where you're sitting or in some place not lounging in a chaise or a bed, that you'll be dressed. And if you're a gentleman, dressed appropriately, not wearing a hat. I hate to say these things, but people sometimes forget. If you're in a vehicle, when we call your case, please park the vehicle and make sure you're stopped and safe. We will not hear your case if you're in a moving vehicle. As I said, there are a fair number of cases, so we hope to get through as many as possible. I don't know if I've missed anything. We're being transcribed. If any, I think the next step will be to hear from the city on those cases that have been settled or continued. There's a representative from the city solicitor's office. When your case is called, typically the city has an attorney with a witness. They will present their side of the case first. You will have an opportunity to examine or question the witness, and then you can present your side of whatever is the reason for your appeal. So the first thing we will do is hear from the city, and then if your case has been settled, or if your case is continued or marked moot, we will not hear it today. If you have a question of what the meaning of what we've just done, you may contact the number on your meeting announcement and ask the board staff for an explanation. Mr. Kelly, you are the representative.
Yes, good afternoon, members of the board. Jim Kelly on behalf of the city. The first on the city's list, at least from an L&I perspective, is number 8, HA 2023-4909, 2220 Walnut Street, appellant Russ Lehman, doing business as Rosie's Taco Bar. That's moot complied. Next is number 11, HA 2024-110, Spruce Street between Juniper and Broad Street, Ramat Zeb Khan, withdrawn by appellant. Next is number 15, HA 2024-541, 1236 South 28th Street, appellant Carol Collier, withdrawn by appellant. Next is number 24 on the list, HA 2023-002 913 7043 Gillespie Street, appellant Gillespie Partnership LLC. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a 90-day stay of enforcement. Next is number 25, same thing, HA 2023-2914 7045 Gillespie Street, Gillespie Partnership LLC, an agreement for a city affirm with a 90-day stay of enforcement. Next is number 26, ending in HA 2024-1443, 123 South 50th Street, Michael Reed, that's moot complied. Next is number 27, HA 2024-1555, 123 South 50th Street, appellant Just Mike the Poet, Inc. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a $800 fine. Number 28, HA 2024-1947, 123 South 50th Street, appellant Michael Reed. That's a settlement for a city affirm with a $1,000 fine. And number 31, HA 2024-3689, 1607 Germantown Avenue, appellant United Inspection Agency. That was a appellant's continuance request unopposed by the city, and I believe the board confirmed that via email last week. I do have two preliminary matters of my own. I'm not sure if you want to hear from the water folks first.
I guess we'll hear your preliminary matters because we have several other matters that administratively, at least have been brought to our attention. So let's hear the two that you have.
Sure. So the two that are my cases that I have, the first one is number 14, HA 2024-3798, western side of 38th Street between Spruce and Baltimore Ave. Appellant is Howard Foreman. I believe they're present here. This is I don't know if they want to come up. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Mr. Foreman, is he going to be testifying or just confirming?
So in short, this is a license revocation of a vending license. Mr. Foreman is the appellant, but the license was issued. I don't have the exact name in front of me, but it was issued to a corporation. So I do believe that he would need an attorney. I just wanted the board to confirm that.
All right, Mr. Foreman, would you raise your right hand? You swear from the testimony you give today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
And you are Howard Foreman, but the violation was issued to an LLC, a corporation.
It was a corporation. I believe it's Caribbean Island Feast Cuisine, was the holder of the license. The license had an intent to revoke issued. That's
The license to that
correct, to that corporation.
corporation. You may be involved with that corporation, I assume. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But anytime there's a corporation that's an appellant in a case before this board, the regulations and the city charter require that the corporation be represented by counsel. You do not have a lawyer here with you today, do you?
No, sir, but can I say something?
Sure. Oh,
So,
I did. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yes, so, my case is, pretty much not very technical.
Well, it doesn't matter. The fact is you cannot address or discuss your case before this board without having counsel. So unfortunately, you have to retain a lawyer, and that lawyer can perhaps settle the matter with the city, with Mr. Kelly, if it's his case. But we can't hear from you because you're required to have legal counsel.
Understand?
All right?
Yes, sir.
So we'll mark the case continued, probably be listed for a hearing in May. But in the meantime, if you get counsel, that person, you may be able to speak with Mr. Kelly and settle the matter without hiring counsel, but you have to speak to the city and see what the issue is, and maybe you can resolve it.
Sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming in. The case will be case number 14, HA 2024-003798. Howard Foreman is listed as the appellant. The case will be marked continued. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Kelly, okay.
I did have one more of my own. This is number 17, HA 2024-2767, 2724 West Allegheny Avenue, Maria Espinal Perez. This was a case that at the last listing was continued as the appellant needed both an interpreter and an attorney. I didn't see them when I was on my computer. I just want to confirm if they're there. I don't want to keep the witness.
Well,
and
all right.
interpreter.
So do we have a Spanish interpreter?
Hello, Your Honor.
Aha.
I am the Spanish interpreter.
Yes, sir. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Leonel Gillen. Leonel spelled Leonel. Gillen is spelled Guillen.
Thank you, Mr. Gillen. Welcome.
Thank you.
At this point, we're going to call the case. I'll ask you to say the name in Spanish. That is, I guess Mr. Mato should call the
Yes, sir.
case, number 17.
Hearing appeal ending 2767-2724 West Allegheny Avenue, Maria Espinal Perez. Ms. Perez, are you present?
Señorita María Espinal Pérez, ¿usted está presente? Señorita María Espinal Pérez, ¿está presente?
2724 West Allegheny Avenue. Is anyone present?
Interpreter, could you repeat the address? You said 2724 West?
2724 West Allegheny Avenue, Allegheny.
Thank you very much. Señorita María Espinal Pérez, de la dirección 2724 West Allegheny Avenida, ¿está presente?
There appears to be no one present. Answering present, Mr. Kelly, what is your request?
Thank you. Based on lack of appearance, the city would seek a city affirm for failure to appear.
All right, let's get the time first. Mr. Pettit,
12:59 PM.
my vote is city affirmed for the failure to appear by the appellant.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. That's it?
That's all that I have.
Okay.
Colleagues may have others.
All right, I forgot to mention, there are several cases that are listed for hearings today that involve what we believe are clients that are corporations or appellants that are corporations. And if you don't have counsel, we will not be able to hear your case. But let's go through is there anyone else from the city who has a matter that's been resolved or administratively requested a continuance?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Kristen Patchell for the city. Acting Chairman Pincus, I do not have a matter that's been resolved. However, I do have a matter where an appellant is present in the room, but the license violation notice was issued to a corporation. I'm not sure if you'd like to address that or if you'd like me to step back for now.
No. If it's again, where there's a corporation, we may as well address it now.
Number 30 on the list, Mr. Galdamez is currently present in the room.
Let's have Mr. Mato call the case. Number
This is
30.
hearing appeal ending 3668-627 North 16th Street. Ludvin Galdamez is the appellant. Galdamez?
Come
right up here, sir.
forward, please. Have a seat. Do we have do we need these? We do have the Spanish interpreter. Hello, Mr. Guillen again.
Oh, sir.
Would you please recite the name of the case and number, Mr. Guillen?
Yes.
Excuse
Uh,
me, Chairman, excuse me, this is the court reporter. Does the interpreter need to be sworn in?
Yes, he does. Mr. Guillen, could you raise your hand? Do you swear or affirm that you will translate the testimony from Spanish to English and from English to Spanish faithfully and to your best ability?
I swear.
Thank you. Mr.
Okay, could you repeat the case number and the
Yes, sir.
address, please, and the name?
This is hearing appeal ending 3668-627 North 16th Street. Ludvin Galdamez, appellant.
Mr. Galdamez?
Muy bien, este es el caso con terminación 3668 de la dirección 627 Norte, calle 16, con el señor Ludwig Galdames.
Mr. Galdamez, we have an interpreter because you've indicated you need a Spanish-speaking interpreter today.
Señor Galdames, tenemos un intérprete en español porque usted indicó que usted requiere un intérprete en español el día de hoy.
Así es.
That's right.
Ms. Paschal. Is it on? It's on. Hold it a little, move it a little closer.
Sí, así es.
That
Ms.
is,
Paschal.
that is correct.
Yes, members of the board, this matter was a license violation notice that was issued to LG Trucking LLC. Mr. Gallimez is present. I asked him if he had retained an attorney. He had not, so I wanted to call it
All right.
Muy bien.
What was the name of the entity to which?
LGE Trucking LLC.
Ok, muy bien. Entonces, este asunto es por una violación de licencia para la empresa de LGE Trucking LLC. El señor Galdames está presente, no trae un abogado.
Mr. Galdames, are you a principal of LGF Trucking?
Señor Galdames, ¿usted es el principal de LGF Trucking?
Sí, yo soy el dueño.
Yes, I am the owner.
However, the rules for an appeal before this board require that if the appellant is an LLC, it must be represented by legal counsel.
Ahora, sí.
Do you have an attorney?
Sin embargo, las reglas establecen que si usted va a hacer una apelación ante esta junta y usted y su empresa es una LLC, entonces debe ser representado por un consejero legal. ¿Usted tiene un abogado presente?
No, no lo tengo porque me están acusando de algo que yo ni no estaba trabajando en eso antes de que pusieran esas violaciones.
Okay, no, I do not have one because you're accusing me, I'm being accused of working on something that I wasn't working on before these violations happened.
Well, unfortunately, you will have to speak with an attorney or contact Ms. Paschal, who's handling the matter, with someone who can speak English and try to resolve it. We will have to reschedule the matter for a later hearing when you can bring an attorney.
Desafortunadamente va a tener que hablar con un abogado o va a tener que contactar a la señorita Paschal que está manejando el asunto junto con una persona que habla inglés para poder resolverlo. Por los momentos vamos a tener que reagendar el asunto para una audiencia posterior cuando usted pueda traer un abogado.
You understand, Mr. Galdes?
¿Sí entendió, señor Galdames?
Sí entiendo, pero no sé por qué. Yo tengo las pruebas cuando yo saqué el permiso de este lugar. Me están acusando de que no tenía permiso. So I gotta tengo que gastar dinero en un abogado por algo que yo no hice.
Yes, okay, so I understand, and the thing is that I have the evidence here that I got the permit when I started this place, when I started doing this place, so and they're telling me that I didn't have the permit, so so the thing is, now I have to spend money in order to defend this myself?
You need to, because you are, your business is a limited liability corporation. You must either speak with Ms. Paschal yourself or have an attorney if you wish to pursue and come back to this board. You must be represented by an attorney at a hearing in front of this board.
Sí, usted necesita, porque usted, su empresa es una corporación de responsabilidad limitada, entonces usted necesita hablar con la señorita Paschal, usted personalmente con ella, o hablar con un abogado para que el abogado lo represente si usted quiere retomar el caso aquí en la audiencia.
Okay?
Yo creo que ya hablé con ella y le expliqué lo que había pasado.
I think I already spoke with her.
Hablé también
and-
con el inspector que dio los tickets y nadie me quiere no me quiere escuchar.
Okay, I think I already spoke with her of what had happened, and I already spoke with the inspector as well that gave me the tickets, but they don't want to listen to me.
Well, then you have to get an attorney. We'll
Entonces-
continue the case for another hearing date, probably in May.
Muy bien, pero entonces tiene que conseguir un abogado y vamos a continuar con otra cita posterior para una audiencia probablemente en mayo.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Anything further from the city?
Good afternoon, Board. Caitlin Carmody on behalf of the city.
Good afternoon, Ms. Carmody.
This is regarding matter number 29 with Mr. Pearl as counsel for appellant. Due to some time constraints, the parties would have to request a joint continuance of today's proceedings. We had discussed.
Excuse me, what's his? Mr. Galdamez, please, we can hear you up here. So if you need to speak with her, could you please go outside? Thank you very much.
The parties have agreed that we have to continue this matter due to time constraints. We had discussed a date in May. I believe the 8th or the 22nd are the dates that are available.
Well, Mr. Motto, do you know what dates are available? All right, so like you have no objection to continuing the case.
Correct.
All right, this has Mr. Pearl listed as counsel. Is he here?
I'm right here.
Okay, sorry, I didn't recognize you.
That's okay. Good to see you, Mr. Pincus. So, I appreciate the city's willingness. Either one of the 8th or the 22nd. My only issue is going to be is, both of those at 3 o'clock. I have matters before the court please.
Well, we can't control how that gets played out, other than, we'll try to accommodate you as best as possible. All
So if I
right,
can't resolve it, which is fine, and it's not your fault, then at 2:30, then I come stand up and say, I need to.
we'll try to get you in if you say you have to be heard. We'll try to accommodate you.
Okay,
Hopefully you can resolve this with the Ms. Carmody before it's scheduled.
we will endeavor to do so. We've talked a lot, so,
Very good.
yeah.
All right, we will mark the case continued. This is case number 29 HA 2024-003-650, 1842 Vineyard Street.
Excuse me, this is the court reporter. May I have the full name and the spelling of counsel for the appellant?
Yeah, that's James Pearl, Pearl.
Thank you.
All right, case number 29. Anything else, Ms. Carmen?
Not at this time. thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yes. Mr. Reuter.
Good afternoon. May it please the board, Leonard F. Reuter, City of Philadelphia.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Just a couple things to bring to the board's attention. The first is a resolution of number 23 HA 2021-004867 for 260 South 16th Street, Charles Lipsius. That matter is resolved with an agreement to have the matter marked city affirmed with a 90-day stay of enforcement. I forwarded to the board email confirmation from their attorney, David Feynman.
The attorney is David Feynman.
Correct.
Okay.
The David Feynman.
Yeah, we know Mr. Feynman. Thank you.
And also, just for the record, they're not a party per se, but the neighboring property owner is represented by Michael Phillips and Claire Harrison. He's also not opposing the agreement. It goes back several years, as you can tell from the date of the violation. I do have a question regarding number 22 on the list. That's HA 2024-004011, 1030 West Girard Avenue. The appellant is Michael Al-Haddad. This is an AIU matter, part of which has been resolved, but the actual violation was issued to Ascent Design and Builders LLC, and therefore they would need to be represented by counsel.
So I guess we should call the case. I have a couple similar ones listed, so Mr. Motto, would you call case number 22?
Yes, sir. This is hearing appeal ending 4011-1030 West Girard Avenue, Michael Al-Haddad.
and or the corporate LLC, Mr. Ryder?
That is, I'm sorry, the corporate name is Ascent Design and Builders LLC.
Is someone present with regard to this case?
Yes, I'm here, Your Honor.
And you are Mr. Al Haddad?
No, sir. My name is Andy. I am full authorized to speak on behalf of Mr. Al-Haddad.
Are you an attorney?
No, I am not an attorney.
All right, so under the circumstances, unfortunately, you may believe you're authorized, but the only person who's authorized to discuss this matter in front of the board today would be the attorney for the LLC owner, and there's no attorney present. And
Can I speak, Mr. Chairman?
sure.
This matter, this issue, it's not that complicated. It's
It
straightforward.
doesn't matter, sir. Because
it's causing-
sir, will you listen to me?
Are you allowing me to speak?
You're
Sorry.
interrupting me. You're not authorized to speak in front of this board. The violation and appeal, the violation was issued to a limited liability corporation. Under the regulations and the city charter, that corporation is required to be represented at this hearing by legal counsel. There is no legal counsel present. You or whoever's authorized you could certainly talk to Mr. Reuter and try to resolve the case between now and the hearing date. But when the case is called to be heard in front of the board, there must be counsel. There is not a lawyer present representing the appellant. We cannot hear the case. We will mark it continued, and it'll be relisted for a future date. Do you understand everything I just said?
I very well understand. Thank you. How can I get the contact of Mr. Ryder?
If I can, then briefly, is the email address for Mr. Haddad the same address that he put on the appeal notification, the appeal form?
That's correct.
All right,
That's
we'll be
correct.
reaching out. We do think this matter could be resolved.
I think so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes my business. May be excused.
Yes, you may, sir. Let me just go back and look at my list to see if I'm missing. You say there are two raised hands. Well, I don't, wait a minute. I don't see any raised hands, but that's. Okay. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Wozriak, did I say that?
It's Mr. Logan.
Yeah. Sir, and I see that we have two raised hands, both also from the city solicitor's office, so go ahead.
Excuse me, this is the reporter. I think the microphone needs to be turned on.
Reintroduce yourself, please.
Sorry about that. Sean Loeb for the city. The last name is Logue. And I have one preliminary matter to call to the board's attention. This is case number 34 on the list, a late add-on added on an emergency basis, appeal ending in 00354, address 5713 Windale Ave, appellant Adam Jackson. I spoke to Mr. Jackson earlier this week. He was appealing an intent to cease. He has moved out of the property and indicated that he was going to withdraw his appeal. I copied him on an email to the board representing as much, and I did not see a response from him withdrawing his appeal. And I'm not sure if he maybe replied only to the board and left me off the email.
So the only communication to the board regarding withdrawing the appeal was the email you sent to the appellant?
That's correct. Or it's the email that I sent to the board copying the appellant.
Just a moment.
Sure.
Yeah, you're good. Do it.
I appreciate that you've indicated that he's withdrawing his case, but we haven't heard from the appellant. So I think under the circumstances, we'll mark the case continued and ask that the have an inspector go out to confirm that the appellant has vacated the property, and we can then close it out. Is that acceptable?
Well, Mr. Pincus, I don't believe the appellant is here. My email to the board said that my understanding was he was going to withdraw his appeal. And I did, I believe, instruct the appellant to confirm on the email that he was going to do that. And given that he didn't, and he hasn't showed up, the city would request a city affirm.
Well, I guess I'm reluctant to take the action based on your email to him. I'm concerned that the appellant needed to confirm one way or another that he's withdrawing his appeal. And so while I appreciate that he's not here and that may be some evidence that he's agreed it's withdrawn, we don't have any kind of actual notice from the appellant. So
I think his failure to withdraw his appeal and failure to appear.
again, I'm not sure. I'd rather know for a fact that either he's confirmed your notification or that in fact you said he's moved out, because otherwise we still may have a case. So.
All right,
All
understood.
right, so this is case number 34.
That's 34.
We're gonna mark it continued. And hopefully the city can get someone out to just confirm that you say he was moving out, so let's confirm that.
Okay, understood.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pincus. And that concludes my preliminary matters.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Carmody, you want to come back again?
One more that we were able to reach a settlement on actually before.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Sorry, we were parties for number 21 were able to speak and come to a resolution just now, so we wanted to put that on the record. This is for number 21 HA 2024-003-996, 627 North 16th Street, appellant Spiro Nako, who is here today. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly.
And what are you here to request the continuance?
No, we were able to come to an agreement
Aha,
for a city affirmed with a reduced fine of $500.
city affirmed. Are you Mr. Nako?
Yes.
Am I saying that correctly? Would you, you're here, so I ask you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Do you confirm that you've agreed to the terms that the city solicitor has spelled out? Fine of $500, city affirmed?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Carmody.
Thank you. That is actually the end of my preliminary matters.
Okay. So we have two city solicitors. Let me just make sure that I've gotten sort of through everything. Oh, we continued, Mr. Al-Haddad, just a moment. This is continued. Number 32, I think that's Mr. Reuter. Is that correct? The Arthur Gibbs doing business as the Veterans of Foreign Wars. I haven't noted as being continued because we don't have we don't have all the board members here who heard the case, and it's listed for a vote, and we're not going to be able to vote on it today.
That's fine.
So we mark it continued.
Okay.
Number 32,
Thank you.
HA 2024-00097, 805 South Front Street. Okay. Let us attend to the matters which appear, the ones that are still open, are the water department cases, and I believe I see counsel for the water department. Ms. Laughlin, I'm not sure you are for the water department.
Yes, I am for the water department.
So which cases are you here to address?
Yes, so I would first like to read onto the record several preliminary water matters.
Sure.
First, the matter listed number 3 on the docket related to 627 South 3rd Street, Crybaby South 3rd Street LLC, last 4 digits 3622. The appellant has asked for a continuance and the city does not object to that request.
Okay, is there an issue of timeliness on this matter that will have to be addressed?
I do believe this was a late appeal.
All right, we'll continue it.
Thank you.
Do they know it's an LLC? Do they know that they need to have counsel at the hearing?
Yes, there's no attorney listed on the docket, but I do believe they have representation.
Would you please make sure that they understand that when the matter is relisted, that they will need to have counsel?
Yes, I
Thank
will.
Excuse me, this is Board Counsel Ryan McSherry. I believe we received email correspondence from Rachel Pritzker on behalf of the appellant in this matter, indicating that they are representing the appellant.
Very good. Thank you.
And then second, the matter listed number 4 on the docket related to 216 Watkins Street, Francis Martino, last 4 digits 3694. This matter is moot complied.
So noted, number 4, moot complied.
And third, the matter listed number 5 on the docket related to 1256 South 28th Street, last 4 digits 3701. The city raises a preliminary standing issue because this property is owned by an LLC, but there's no attorney of record for this matter.
Okay, so I guess we should hear and determine if Mr. Khan Wang is present. Would you call the case, Mr. Amato, please?
Sure. This is hearing appeal ending 3694.
No.
I'm sorry, forgive me. This is hearing appeal ending 3701 for 1256 South 28th Street. Can Huang is the appellant.
Mr. Wang, are you present?
Yes, I am here.
You are here, okay. Do you understand what the issue is? That our record, the city's records show that the owner of the property at 1256 South 28th Street is an LLC, a limited liability corporation. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct. I wasn't aware of, I have to be represented by an attorney.
Well, unfortunately, if you look carefully and read everything that's in the violation notice that you were issued, it says at the bottom that if you are an LLC, you need legal representation. So we're going to continue this case so that you can either try to speak with the city solicitor, Ms. Laughlin, if you need to get a number to reach her at, she can, I guess, put it in the chat, or maybe you have her email address on the appeal.
Mr. Pincus, my colleague Melanie Nessich is actually handling this case, and she's asked if she could go into a breakout room with Ms. Wang and Francis Francesco, also from the city, to see if they can talk about this in a breakout room.
Ms. Wang, are you willing to go and try to resolve this with the city solicitor?
Yes.
Do you know how to go? You'll get a message to enter a breakout room, and perhaps the two of you can resolve this.
Yes, I would love to, but I don't find a way. I don't see that yet, that option yet.
It'll come up. It'll come up.
Okay.
All right, watch your screen. And if you go to the breakout room, perhaps you can resolve it. So we'll wait to hear what's resolved by the discussions.
I'm sorry, who's the city attorney we're sending?
Melanie Nessich.
Not on the screen.
She's not on the screen, but is Ms. Nessage? She's not on the screen.
She is present.
She's present. I don't see her.
It says not joined.
What?
I've sent the invitation to the breakout room to the two names.
All right, so they can connect on the break. Yes, all right, so let's see if that works, all right?
Okay.
Okay,
Still waiting for Ms. Nezich to join.
Is
Mr. Motto's trying to make sure that Ms. Nezich is connected. Just a moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she has dropped off the call or.
Perhaps do you have anything further, Ms. Laughlin, and perhaps?
I do have a couple more preliminary matters.
All right, well, let's wait and can you get a hold of Ms. Nezich to make sure she knows to try to sign into the hearing?
Yeah, I believe she's having technical problems.
All right, let's hear your other matters and perhaps she'll get on and our administrative staff will watch for her to sign in.
She's joining now.
Thank you. So next for the matter listed number 6 on the docket related to 240 North Creighton Street, last 4 digits 4018. This matter is moot.
Very good.
And then next, the matter listed number 7 on the docket related to 9968 Sandy Road, last 4 digits 4067. The city requests a continuance due to witness unavailability today. The witness is currently on funeral leave and the relevant supervisor is currently on sick leave.
Let's call the case to make sure whether or not the appellant is here. Mr. Motto.
Hearing appeal ending 4067-9968 Sandy Road. Ina Lamaj.
Ina Lamaj, are you present? Ina Lamaj. I may be saying it incorrectly. I'll spell it. ENEALAMAJ 9968 Sandy Road. There's no one present at the hearing regarding this property. Do we need to continue it, or I believe we could make a determination that the appellant hasn't appeared?
Yeah, the city then in that case would ask for this to be city affirmed for failure to appear.
Mr. Pettit, what time do you have?
1:31 PM.
All right, hold on. Oh, wait, did they know? So we can't decide. Yes. All right, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Madden. Under the circumstances, we can't make a decision on the matter because apparently there's been communication between your office and the appellant notifying them that you intended to continue the case. Is that correct?
I was not the attorney handling this
All right,
case,
well-
so I'm not sure, but I am fine to have it continued if that's the case.
All right, well, we have some communications indicating that the appellant was notified of the continuance. So under the circumstances, we'll continue the case. Now I've got to figure out which case we're talking about. Number 7, HA 2024-004-067-9968 Sandy Road, Inia Lamage. We're marking it continued. We're not taking and making a decision. We're marking it continued for a future hearing date. Any further administrative matters?
Yes, just for the matter listed 33 on today's docket, 516 East Cabot Street, last four digits 4526.
Just a moment. Wait, just a moment. What case is this again? Oh, yeah, it's number 33. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just to make a note, the city's witness must leave by 4:30 PM, and so the city would just request that this matter be called by 4 PM at the latest.
Okay. I hope we can accommodate you. I would very much like to.
Thank
Okay.
you. And that concludes the preliminary water matters for today.
All right. So let's see if the other matter that Ms. Nesich is in the breakout room gets resolved. And in the meantime, I have a hand raised from Morgan Pace from the city.
Hi.
Ms. Pace. Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Morgan Pace for the city. I just wanted to state that cases number 18 and 19 have been withdrawn by the appellant. They have been settled and withdrawn.
Case number, well, let's have Mr. Motto call the cases.
Is hearing appeal ending 1339-1801 North 10th Street. Megan Miller doing business as PMC Property Group, CO PMC Property Group. And case number 19, hearing appeal ending 1430-1300 Chestnut Street. Megan Miller doing business as PMC Property Group.
And you're informing us that the appellant has withdrawn both of these appeals. Is that right, Ms. Pace?
Yes, that's correct. There should be an email. I have a copy of it here that was sent to the board on January 29th indicating the withdrawal.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that concludes my matters before the board.
Just a moment. All right, just want to make sure, did you say they were settled and withdrawn?
Yes, they were withdrawn subject to a settlement agreement.
Just a moment, just a moment. I'm sorry, Ms. Pace. If you have a settlement agreement, and as you've indicated, you said it was settled and they've withdrawn the case. We don't seem to have a record or are not aware. Did you forward copies of these settlement agreements to the board?
I have something that was sent. This was not my case. I'm just speaking for my supervisor, but this was sent to Deborah Richardson on January 29th. I can.
I'm sorry, who did you say it was sent to?
Deborah Richardson is who the appellant emailed it to.
Well, we don't seem to be aware of it. Would you mind resending whatever you sent on the 29th of January to Ms. Richardson? And we'll look for it, but we need to put it, if there is a settlement agreement, we want to put it on the record that there is a settlement. I assume it was city affirmed, or there was a settlement that the appeals have been withdrawn, but we need to see that agreement. All right?
Okay. All right. I'm forwarding you the email now.
Forward it to Ms. Richardson.
Thank you.
Could you share with us the terms of the settlement agreement?
I do not have those terms. I was just speaking to have just to make sure that this was withdrawn, but I can get those from my supervisor right now if you would like.
Please.
I will be right back.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, but if you just have her send it to Philly, see if he has his laptop. If Richardson doesn't have a computer with her.
All right. In the meantime, we'll go back to the cases that are listed. I just want to make sure that we've covered every case that may have a require legal counsel. I believe we have.
Mr. Pincus, sir?
We disposed of the two cases that had the interpreter, but he's still here in the room, so we could probably release him.
The Mr. Guillen.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Guillen, thank you very much for coming today again. We'll look forward to seeing you sometime again in the future. Thank
It's
you for
always
your
a
help.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a beautiful day, everybody.
I guess what we should do, Mr. Motto, is go with the cases for the people who are here.
That'll bring us to item number 2 on today's list. The appeal ending 3856 for 1526 Hellerman Street, Robert Pili, P-I-L-I. Mr. Pili's present in the room, sir?
Mr. Peely. Good afternoon. Are you the same gentleman that I once worked with? Many?
I am retired.
So am I. But I'm here. Welcome, Mr. Peely. For the members of the board and anyone else who's involved, at one point about 30 years ago, I represented the city of Philadelphia, and Mr. Peely was among the people that I dealt with when I was a solicitor for the law department. But I haven't seen him in quite some time. Welcome. Do we have, I presume it's not a problem, there's not a conflict, and the city solicitor will not object to my continuing to serve as chair on this matter?
The city does not object to your service on the board.
Thank you. You were presenting the case, Ms. Laughlin?
I am.
Very good. Do you want to proceed? Do you have a witness?
I do have a witness for the city, Mr. Jason Locke. I believe he's on the call.
Let's see if
Right here,
Mr.
sir.
Got a hand up.
Hand up. Right here.
I'm just, hold on a moment. There you are. I see you, Mr. Locke. Okay,
Good afternoon.
very good. Ms. Laughlin.
Yes, so just as in statement,
Before you proceed, let me swear in the witness. Mr. Peely, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. Thank you. I'm sorry. Proceed, Ms. Laughlin. Mr. Locke, I need to swear him in as well. I'm sorry. Mr. Locke, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Very good. Thank you. Now
Thank
we'll
you.
let you proceed.
thank you. So in this matter for 1526 Hellerman Street, on August 20, 2024, the Philadelphia Water Department attempted to shut off water service at 1526 Hellerman Street due to non-compliance with meter regulations. On August 22nd, 2024, PWD notified the water customer at this address that he was in violation of City Code Section 13502 for failing to provide an accessible and operable shutoff valve at the curb stop. On March 5, 2025, PWD made a reinspection of the same property and found that the curb stop was still inaccessible. The city maintains that this notice was therefore issued correctly.
Okay, and you want to have your witness testify now that you've summarized what the testimony will be?
Yes, so I would like to call Jason Locke, who's just been sworn in.
Yes.
He's been sworn in, Mr. Locke. All right, Ms. Laughlin, proceed.
So you've already stated your name. Could you tell the board by whom you are employed?
My name is Jason Locke. I'm employed with the City of Philadelphia Water Department, Delinquency and Restoration / meter unit.
Thank you. And how long have you had this position with the city?
17 years.
And have you had the chance to review the city's exhibit today, including the photos of 1526 Hellerman Street?
Yes.
And I would, with the board's permission, start sharing my screen.
Please.
And so we'll go down to the photos. Can you identify the source of these photos?
Yes, that's the curb box for the shut off for the property listed 1526 Hellerman.
And who took these photos?
I did.
Just a moment. Can you see these on the screen, Mr. Peely?
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
And can you identify in these photos that the curb box is inaccessible?
Well, this picture's not, but we made an inspection out there and it's curb stop obstructed. We couldn't clean it out. We couldn't get the material out, whatever's in there. Possibly could be hard cement in there. Or the stones that are, as you can see in the picture right there, but it was not able to be operated.
Okay. And so you have been to the property and confirmed that you were not able to operate this curb stop.
Yes.
And what are the consequences of an inaccessible curb stop?
Consequences, I mean, it could cause problems inside your property. So if you had a leak inside the property and you needed to shut it off and you weren't able to shut off inside, that will be the second point of shut off. Will stop for flooding your property out in the neighboring houses. So we'd like that to be accessible, cleaned out, not only for us, but for the homeowner itself.
Thank you. And this obstructed curb stop was related initially to not
Well,
if the meter has been replaced in order to satisfy the meter requirements, can the curb stop still be inaccessible?
nah, it should be accessible at all times. I know he had the meter installed. I don't have the quite date. You might have it there.
October 11th.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Locke. This concludes the city's questions for the witness. And with the board's permission, the city moves to add City Exhibit 2 onto the record.
We'll add that to the record. Mr. Peely, do you have any questions based on the testimony from the inspector? You may present your case, but the first thing is to know if you have any questions based on the statements made by the inspector.
Excuse me, Acting Chair, I don't know that, Mr. Peely has been sworn.
Oh, I thought, did I?
I have been sworn in.
He was sworn in.
My apologies.
That's okay. Mr. Peely,
Twice.
do you have any questions for Inspector Locke?
Well, yeah, first of all.
Move that a little
Yeah.
closer.
First of all, the address on the photo is incorrect.
Well, wait, again, move that closer. You can bend it as well. There you go.
First of all, the address on the photo is incorrect.
Can you pose that as a question, please, Ms.?
Yes, question, my question is, incorrect address on the photo.
Well, no, asking Mr. Locke, do you know what address was used for that photograph? And let's put it up again. Do you understand? You're asking questions of him. You can tell us when you make your presentation what the correct address is, but
Yes, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see
let's
there,
look at the picture.
March 5th. Apparently photos were taken.
Let's see, I don't see the whole picture on my screen.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, there it is. Okay. March 5th, 2025 at 9:48.
My address is 1526 Hellerman Street. The photos are 1520 Hellerman Street.
What is your question, Mr. Peely?
I question why it's incorrect.
Is that your property?
That's my property, yes.
It was a timestamp camera, so the address, it must have picked up the other address, but that's the property in question, right?
It's the property in question, yes.
Okay. That's your curb
So
stop, right?
he's answered your question. We're fine. What we've discovered is we hear the cases, and if you have a camera that timestamps photos, for some reason, the city's cameras frequently will get an address other than the actual address. So you've admitted this is your property.
Yes.
So the address that's listed on the photo is incorrect.
Yes.
Okay, next question.
Next question is how this all came about was I was never.
No.
Okay.
You have a question for the inspector. You can-
Well, yes. Does he have the information that it was cleaned by the water department, cleaned out on Saturday?
What date are you referring to?
Last Saturday, they're at my house. They're at my residence.
This past Saturday?
Yes.
Well, when was the last time the property was inspected, Inspector Locke?
This is with me. I went out on the 5th. Another crew might have came out Saturday,
Yes.
but they came back as they couldn't remove the obstructions again.
He told me he removed everything.
Wait.
Okay.
All right, so let's go back. The question is, Inspector Locke, do you have any record of an inspection being made by the city of Philadelphia on Saturday? What's the date of this Saturday?
The 8th? No, I do not.
You do not have a record of a city inspection on March the 8th? Okay.
No.
Very good. Next question, Mr. Peely.
Well, this all comes about because,
No, again,
I have no more questions.
okay,
For the
very
inspector.
good. I just want to,
Except for the fact that he has no record of the,
well, we're fine. We'll hear from you.
You have to ask questions.
Okay. So just want to make sure, Inspector, the reason that you needed to have access to the curb stop was in order to get in, shut the water off and get in and change the water meter in the property. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
And as of this day today, has the water meter been changed?
Yes, the water meter had been changed. But as the result, when we came out, he was either not there and we want to shut it off because of non-compliance of putting the meter in. We were unable to shut it off. So then we served a notice because we were unable to shut it off. And then after that, he must have settled up and got a meter installed. But till, yeah.
So wait, let me just, again, has a new meter been installed in this property? Yes or no?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, okay.
The
so
violation
somehow-
still stands. as
So
you can't operate.
somehow you were able to get into the property in order to remove and replace the meter and shut off the water. Is that correct?
No, that was another unit. That was a meter unit that got inside his property. He set up an appointment. The owner of the property. Right?
Yes. Okay.
But the violation still stands that you cannot operate the curb box, which is a
I
city ordinance.
understand.
Okay.
So you're saying that you were able to change the meter, but the curb stop was still inaccessible and needed to be cleared out. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, so let me break it down real quick. Once we gain access to the property, we can shut it off inside at the meter. There's a meter valve inside.
Okay.
So
All right.
if the homeowner is not there and we're coming out and changing the meters out, we shut off outside for him not to be at the property.
All right.
That makes sense, right?
All right. Any questions from my colleagues?
I do have a quick question. So Inspector Locke, is it your testimony that the curb stop as of March 5th, your last inspection, was still inoperable?
Yes.
That was my same question.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just for clarification, at the time that the initial letter was sent to Mr. Peely's home, you could not access the water meter through the outside because the curb stop was blocked. Is that correct?
No, to access the meter, it's inside the property.
Okay.
And if the homeowner was not home at the time we arrived, he had multiple chances to get the meter installed. It gets sent to us. We come out, we try to get another time to put it in. He was not there at the time. Our guy shut it off outside. We shut the water off, and then he has to make an appointment to get a meter installed to get his water restored. So in that time, he must have did that because we weren't able to shut the water off.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Any further questions based on the recent testimony, the latest testimony from Mr. Inspector Locke, Mr. Peely?
No.
Yeah. All right. Anything further, Ms. Laughlin?
No, I wanted to ask Mr. Locke, so the curb stop, the reason that Mr. Peely was issued the violation for having the curb stop inoperable is because the water department attempted to access the curb stop because of the meter issue, correct?
Yes.
But the meter is not the only reason that the curb stop would need to be accessible. Is that also correct?
Yeah, well, it's acceptable for the homeowner itself. If any kind of flooding was inside, if he had a leak inside and he was unable to shut off inside, they would have to go outside of the curb stop. If they can't get on the curb stop, then they're digging them up in the water in the street and they're going to shut them off at the water main. But that's the reason why we need the curb stop accessible.
So even if there's a new meter at the home, the meter's working completely fine, you would still need to have an accessible curb stop at all times.
Yes, that's in the city ordinance of plumbing.
Thank
NODs.
you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Peely, is there anything you want to present to us regarding your appeal?
Yeah, well, as a result of all this,
Please.
I'm going back. Yeah, I'm going back to
All right, you can bend it.
prior
down.
to the meter being
Move
installed.
your
Yeah.
thing down, bend it. There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm just going backwards time. I never was really notified about changing the meter. And I brought some things to show you. Every time I get a water bill, the water bill comes in my name as the owner of the property. Every time a notice came to change the meter in my house, it came as occupant. And I have some things to show you.
We have copies of it. It was
Yeah.
attached to your
Yeah,
appeal.
it's always sent to me as occupant.
It says owner/occupant.
Yes.
Okay.
So really, in essence, I've never really been notified properly.
Well, aren't
Because,
you
and the other thing is I received some mails addressed to the previous owner. I've owned the property for 19 years and I still get correspondence to about this in the old owner's name, because the Board of Revision of Taxes had never changed. Their Recorder of Deeds has me as the owner of the property. Unfortunately, the Board of Revision of Taxes has the old owner from 19 years ago as the owner of the property.
But you do live at 1526 Hellerman Street.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And you did receive, because you filed an appeal on September 17th, 2024.
Yes.
With the note, you scheduled water meter service and so on, and you attached to that, or the city had, a letter that was sent to the owner occupant
Yeah.
on August the 22nd, and
Yeah.
you have that letter here as well,
Yeah.
right?
And that is correct.
And you
it's the only reason.
you received that letter?
Yes, I did receive that letter, only usually I would not open a letter that said owner occupant. I would only, just for some reason, I opened this up and it said, oh, we're trying to get in here to change your meter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's never been addressed to me, the owner, is what I'm saying. I get the water bill every month
yeah.
and I'm paid up. I never missed a payment in 3 years. In fact, I have all my receipts.
So you're saying because it didn't have your name on it, you never contacted the city?
That's correct.
Well, now, so the city in the meantime says that they've replaced your water meter.
Yes, they replaced my water meter on October the 11th, 3:30 in the afternoon. As a result of me opening up this owner occupant letter.
Now, the city also says that your curb stop is blocked.
Yes.
And the question is, have you done anything regarding the blocked curb stop?
Yes, a water department representative was at my house Saturday around 12 noon and cleaned it out.
So at the time that you filed the appeal, you did have a blocked curb stop, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay,
that's correct.
so, and you didn't do anything until the city came out, you said a representative on the 5th and cleared it. And there may or may not be a record of that having taken place in the city's files, but when you filed the appeal, your curb stop was blocked.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Anything further you want to add?
No, it's just a result of I've never really properly notified. If I was properly notified, I would have done all this stuff a long time ago.
Notwithstanding that we've known each other a long time, I tend to believe that the notice that's addressed owner occupant is adequate notice from the city to the owner about the plans to change the meter. And that you receive proper notice of the plans and requirements to change the meter. So, and then you receive notice, I guess, of the violation notice that the curb stop was blocked and you needed to do something about it. Your appeal is dated back to September of 2024, and we're now in March of 2025. So there's 6 months to deal with the curb stop that was plugged up. Any further questions from my board members? No. Ms. Laughlin, Mr. Peely, do you have a closing statement or argument you'd like to make?
Well, if it's necessary to do this work, to this. The other thing is you should also know in the photo, you'll notice that the cement is broken up. That's because in May, the city, when they paved my street, when they did the milling, before they do the paving, they broke up and I have a claim against the Lowell Department right now. But anyway, the point I want to make is that I don't feel this is necessary because I was never properly notified. I don't believe that owner occupant it confirmed or conforms with proper notification.
We hear your argument.
And the meter has been installed.
Okay.
I did what I had to do. I did install.
Okay.
And I can't afford to do any more upgrades until I settle with the Lowell Department.
All right, Ms. Laughlin?
Yes, so the city maintains that this notice was issued correctly to 1526 Hellerman Street for having an inaccessible curb stop. The issue before the board today is narrow. It's just whether that curb stop was accessible. And the city affirms upon its inspections and the testimony of Inspector Locke that that curb box is inaccessible. And so we ask the board to affirm this notice for the city.
Thank you. Just
May,
a moment.
may I ask a question? How do I comply with this?
Well, I don't
If I
think I mean, the notices were sent. You were to comply when you got notice and set up the appointment to replace the meter. You did that. You still had an issue of a block curb stop. And there was notice sent about that. And obviously, the way you comply is to clear it out. Whether you went.
And it was cleared.
Well, but was cleared 5 months later, but in the meantime, when it was when you were notified that it was blocked, it was something for you to attend to. Let me just, do my colleagues have any questions? I do.
Are you the resident of the property?
Yes, I am the resident, the owner.
We'll vote the case, Mr. Peely, Ms. Laughlin. My vote is city affirmed.
Appeal sustained.
City affirmed.
Decision is the majority of the panel has agreed to affirm the city. We're going to take a 5-minute recess. It's approximately 5 minutes after 2. We'll resume at 2:10 p.m. Thank you, Mr. We're back on record. We have a notification. Ms. Nezic has raised her hand and we see her, so her connectivity is good for the moment.
I hope so. Can the board hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, apologies for my technical issues earlier. I was able to make a phone call and reach Ms. Huang in the matter of HA 2024-003-701. We mutually agreed that as the board suggested, a continuance would be in order for her to, would be appropriate in order for her to seek legal counsel or more likely a certified plumber. And she asked that I relay this message, and I will also email the board with this information and CC her to her email.
So we should mark case number 5, HA 2024-003-701, 1256 South 28th Street, Can Wang, as continued.
Yes, Acting Chair Pincus, thank you.
All right, we will do so. That leaves 2 more cases from the Water Department to be heard. However, we have someone in the room regarding, I believe, cases 18 and 19. So
That's
let's-
correct, sir. Recalling matters 18 and 19. Number 18 is a hearing appeal ending 1339 for 1801 North 10th Street. Megan Miller doing business as PMC Property Group. And number 19, hearing appeal ending 1430 for 1300 Chestnut Street. Megan Miller doing business as PMC Property Group.
And you are counsel?
Yes, Morgan Pace here for the city. This matter was withdrawn from the appellant's attorney. The settlement agreement was for $2,000 and the settlement checks have been received by the client.
Was it $2,000 in each case or $2,000 combined?
It was $2,000 combined. It was $1,000 for each case.
And
City affirmed
was-
$1,000 fine for each case.
Correct.
And do you have a copy of that agreement?
Yes, I do.
And can you send that to the board, please, if it
Yes.
hasn't been sent?
I can send that right now.
And when was that done?
Board's up. Okay.
What date? Was that in January?
It was actually, the settlement was executed on August 27th, and then the withdrawal was in January.
I see. All right.
I just want to make sure the record's clear, because I believe Board Member Penn said affirmed and council said withdrawn. So I just want to be clear, was it withdrawn per the agreement or city affirmed for the?
Withdrawn per the agreement.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for coming up and clarifying this, and you'll send copies of that document to the board.
Yes, I'm doing that right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think we're at the next case where there's an appellant or appellants present in the room.
Yes, sir. Calling your attention to item number 20 on the list, hearing appeal ending 3872 for 1030 West Gerard. Bruno Ramos de Silva is the appellant. He's present in the room, sir. Mr. De Silva, come up, have a seat. Either one. Sure, we're good.
No, please sit over.
Forgive me, I'm sorry.
Just a moment. 10:30 West Gerard. Okay. You are Bruno Ramosita Silva?
Bruno Ramos da Silva, yes.
Do you swear or affirm, will you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, then the counsel for the city will present the case, and if he has a witness, he'll call that witness. We'll proceed with the city.
Thank you, Chairman Pincus. Sean Loeb for the city, and I have Inspector Mark Slade online to testify.
Inspector Sweeney, Inspector Slade. I see.
Slade.
Okay, very good. Inspector Slade, could I ask you to raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right, sorry, give me one moment. I just accidentally closed my exhibits. Okay. And with the board's permission, I'm going to share my screen.
Sure.
All right. Inspector Slade, can you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Mark Slade,
And where are you currently employed?
Department of License Inspection Audits and Investigations Unit.
And what are your responsibilities with the Audits and Investigations Unit?
My audits and responsibilities are to inspect and review contractors for proper licensing, insurances, OSHA cards, OSHA and other stuff required for the jobs, permits, etc.
Inspector Slade, are you in a room where there are other people that,
Unfortunately, yes, I am.
is it possible to ask those people to speak more softly or? for you to
Yes. Yeah, the secretary's getting up now and walking to
Okay.
tell them. Thanks,
Thank
Kim.
you very much.
You know what, sir? My manager just said I could testify in his office. Is that okay if I move there?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, great. Thank you.
Preferred. Please,
All right.
we'll take a minute.
Sorry.
You don't need your computer, just sit in front of my camera.
Okay. Okay, I'm in my manager Ken's office.
Great. Okay, Inspector Slade, are you familiar with the property located at 1030 West Gerard Ave?
Yes.
How are you familiar with it? Have you been there personally to inspect work that was occurring at that property?
Side by side with OSHA.
Uh-oh, actually, Inspector Slade, I think you cut out for a moment. I missed most of your response there.
The question was, was I at the address?
Yeah, initially how are you familiar with the property at 1030
Yeah,
West Gerard Ave?
my manager was notified by OSHA of some issues with contractors, illegal contractors working, unlicensed contractors working on site. And he put a case file together and had me go out side by side with OSHA.
Gotcha. And so you went to the property personally to inspect it?
Yes,
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to review the department's records related to that property prior to today?
yes,
Okay. And are those records kept in the regular course of the department's business?
yes, on our clip system.
All right. And I did provide a hard copy of the exhibits to the appellant. I'm going to turn now to what's been marked City Exhibit A. Inspector Slade, what is this document?
They're the licensing violation notices.
And what is the date of the notice, if that's legible for you? Sorry.
September 11th, 2024.
And why did the department issue this notice?
They issued a notice on my observation of the workers with not having OSHA cards. And when doing my investigation online on the computer, I noticed the business license, I think it was, and the trades license and trades insurances were expired.
And am I correct in understanding that by the time this notice was sent, the appellant had provided proof of his contractor's license and liability insurance?
Well, when I sent it to supervisory review, they still weren't up to date. But yes, my manager told me that prior to him sending them out, after he reviewed them, he did upload his license and insurances. Yes.
Okay, so the only violations at issue for today are the 3 OSHA card violations. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I was just telling you everything I knew. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. And now I'm going to turn your attention to City's Exhibit B.
Okay.
And I don't know, is it better to zoom out? Yeah, I guess so. Sorry. What is this photograph, Inspector Slade?
That's the building at 1030 garage, 1030 Gerard, and that's also my work vehicle parked in there.
Okay, and did you take this photo yourself?
Yes, I did, sir.
And what is the date in the bottom right-hand corner?
August 22nd, 2024.
And does this fairly and accurately depict the work site at the property at that time?
Yes.
Okay. Before we get to the next photos of the workers, can you describe your interactions with the workers at that site?
The first day I was there, there was no job foreman on site. There was a couple random workers throughout the building. Most of the workers refused to speak to me. A couple of them ran off. And there was a fire sprinkler, Oneida Fire Sprinkler Systems working there. And they did not have any required permits, but they were working, so I had to stop them. And there was also plumbing work that started, but the plumber wasn't on site that had no permits. So we contacted Christian Sanchez, the job superintendent, and went back out for a reinspection later on.
Okay. And did you say that you were there with OSHA as well?
Yes, the second time we went there, OSHA did call. He was having issues and notified my department, where my manager, Mr. Paralak, sent me out to do an inspection side by side with OSHA, Peter Markison from OSHA.
Understood. Thank you. And I'm going to turn your attention to the next photo. Did you ask this worker for his OSHA card?
Yes, I did, sir.
And did he provide it?
No.
Okay. And this worker as well?
Yes, I did.
And you did not provide it?
No.
Okay. And this worker as well?
Yes.
And are workers required to have their OSHA cards on site?
Yes, at least an OSHA 10.
Okay. And would providing the cards after the fact cure the violation?
Absolutely not. The card's supposed to be carried with them at all times. We'll accept uploaded pictures in the phones, or even a document from OSHA, like a certificate from OSHA that they did complete the course, provided they had the proper ID.
Okay, thank you. Now, just turning briefly to City's Exhibit C, this is the appellant's appeal form. He provided some documentation attached to his appeal form. And just to be clear, with these documents, the photos of OSHA cards and identifications, et cetera, would those comply the violation or allow the contractor to avoid a fine?
Absolutely not. Again, my first statement, they have to have them carried on them at all times in either phone certificate or a card on their person.
Thank you. I have no further questions for Inspector Slade.
Mr. Silva, is that correct?
That's correct.
Do you have any questions? You can present your case, but do you have any questions for the inspector based on the statements that he just made?
Yes, I do.
All right. These are questions, correct?
Yes, question.
All right, go ahead.
Did he confirm that the workers understood the question? Because none of them speak English.
Did you hear the question? You might.
Yes,
move the
yes,
micro-
yes, I did. Actually, I asked him, I carry notes that I carry in Spanish, and I did ask him. And I was also there with Christian Sanchez, who's a Spanish-speaking individual, the foreman, and he also asked him. And I was also with OSHA Pete, or Pete Marcus.
I have another question.
Somebody's got.
You have your phone?
No, I'm not on my phone is off. Were you aware that they speak Portuguese and not Spanish?
That's not my,
I think it's the Inspector Slade. Can you make
Is it
sure
going
you
here?
don't have two microphones or two?
No, I'm in my boss's office.
Okay, all
Okay.
right.
No, it's relevant to the language they speak that, if that's the case, you're supposed to have a competent person on job site that's able to communicate with people, English speaking people on site. And like I said, Christopher Sanchez spoke to him and they answered him right out. So whatever language it was.
No further questions.
Okay. Mr. Lowe,
Yeah,
any
just-
further?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
did you say OSHA contacted you?
He didn't contact me personally, but they contacted, a license and inspections.
So if a permit was issued, why didn't when I go out and check if people had OSHA 10s?
Well, it wasn't something that was brought to our radar as we have building inspectors inspecting the work. We're sent out on investigations from referrals, program inspection lists, and 311 complaints.
All right, thank you.
All right, Mr. Ramos, do you have, Mr. Silva, I apologize.
Okay.
Any statements you want to provide to us and information regarding your appeal?
Yes, I didn't have a chance to talk to the inspector on the site. I wasn't in the site present at the moment.
Wait, we're having trouble hearing.
Okay.
Is it on?
Yes, it's on.
All right.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, you can move the mic closer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a chance to speak to the inspector after any moment. I didn't even know the inspector is late. And I speak to my workers and they said that they were not asked for any OSHA cards. Two of them did have the OSHA card at the moment, which was the guy on the second and the third picture. The third one, the first picture guy, he was working on getting his card. He didn't have him at the moment. I do have it here if you guys want to see it, but that's all I have to say.
Were you present at the site when Inspector Slade came out?
No, I wasn't present at the moment. I was only aware that they had come out afterwards.
I see. So what you're saying is that when Inspector Slade went out, subsequently you spoke to the employees and the two of them did have OSHA cards, but they didn't understand the questions that they were being.
They told me that they were never asked for the card. They said that they could finish in working for the day and then stop work due to the other people not having permit to work on site, and then resume after he gave the okay And I was only aware that he gave me the fines when the fine arrived at my house. I'm not sure, a couple months later. I'm not sure of the date.
Very good. Mr. Logue, do you have any questions?
No, I would just say briefly in summation that
Well, let me ask Mr. Silva, do you have any argument that you want to make, or have you presented all the information you want us to consider?
I presented all the information.
Okay.
Excuse me, Chairman. So, could you put that,
sorry,
the site up?
which one?
Picture of the site.
Picture
Oh,
of the
sure.
building. Are you the general contractor?
No, sir, I'm a subcontractor for masonry only. So I only do the brick work.
How long have you been in business in the city of Philadelphia?
City of Philadelphia for 2.5 years.
Do you have any OSHA cards?
Yes, I do.
Which ones?
I have OSHA 30, and I also did an OSHA training for the scaffold.
And you have employees that have no OSHA cards at all?
No, sir, I require all my employees to have OSHA cards.
But you, as the owner of the company, you only have an OSHA 30.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Logue?
Yes, thank you, Chairman Pincus. I would just say briefly in summation, the appellant acknowledged that he was not present at the site. His representations of what his workers said are hearsay. Inspector Slade testified, I believe credibly, to his interactions with the workers, that the referral came from OSHA and that he was sent out specifically because of an issue with workers not having OSHA cards. The contractor's subsequent provision of OSHA cards with his appeal documents does not correct the violation. The workers are required to have them on site. And if they weren't able to communicate with Inspector Slade or OSHA representatives, that is something that the contractors themselves need to address, because they do need to be able to present OSHA cards when requested and understand government employees who are making requests of them. So I would ask for a city affirm based on Inspector Slade's testimony and the evidence presented. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to ask for a brief executive session. Mr. Kelly, we're ready to vote the case.
Before I forget, Chairman Pincus, I just want to move the city's exhibits into evidence.
Very good. We'll move them. We'll accept them.
Thank you.
My vote is city affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
The vote is city affirmed, 3-0. You will get a notice from the board of the decision, and you have the right to appeal that decision. It will be explained in the letter notice you received. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
Mr. Logue, are you done?
Move the mouse to your right hand.
Okay,
Yes, that concludes my business.
So I can go.
very good, very good.
The case where the inspector has to be out by 4. Didn't do that one.
We didn't do, that's I have it, that's case number, just a second, I think it's been settled.
Oh, it hasn't been resolved? Okay.
It's been resolved.
33, yes.
Well, I
Oh,
don't, no,
it
it
was case
hasn't been
33, it's
resolved.
the water Planet Street.
It's only 2:30, we have time.
I know, but I think we went there.
Mr. Motto. Number 13.
Calling your attention to item 13 on the list, sir. Hearing appeal ending 3726 17th Street between Market and Ludlow Streets, West Side, number 194. Yuke Kode is the appellant. He's present in the room, sir.
Good afternoon, Caitlin Carmody on behalf of the city.
Ms. Carmody, Just
Need
give me
some
a moment
stuff.
here. Mr. Yoke Bode, is that?
Yes.
Okay. Are you the owner of the property?
Yes. Well, it's a car, it's a vending car.
Excuse me, this is the reporter. Could the witness get closer? Could everyone get closer to the microphones? Thank you.
It's a vending cart, it's not a house.
It's a vending cart.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Very good. So what we do is we'll have the city present its case. If it has a witness, we'll ask the city's witness, and then you'll have an opportunity to ask questions of the witness and then present whatever information you'd like us to have. All right?
Okay.
Ms. Carmody.
Good afternoon, Board. So this matter is about an intent to revoke a Center City sidewalk vending license, license number 328850, which is in the name of appellant. I have with me from the Department Inspector Stacy Jones, who will provide testimony as to the basis of this intent to revoke.
Okay, Ms. Jones, would you please raise your right hand? And Ms. Carmody, would you turn the microphone? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good.
If I may share my screen.
Sure.
Inspector Jones, can you please state your name again for the record?
Stacy Jones.
Is it Stacy or Casey?
Stacy.
STACEY.
EY.
Very good.
And where are you currently employed?
Business Compliance Vending Unit of Licenses and Inspections.
And how long have you worked there?
29 years.
What are some of your duties and responsibilities?
I inspect all of the vendors that are located in the Center City area, as well as businesses outside of the Center City area.
And you're familiar with the license at issue that's currently assigned to Mr. Code?
I am.
And have you had the chance to review the city's records regarding this license prior to today's hearing?
I have.
I'm showing on the screen, I'm going to move to city's exhibit C2. Exhibit 1 is just a copy of the appeal application. What is this document?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Could you enlarge that?
Yes,
For-
of course. What is this document?
That's a letter of revocation to Mr. Code.
And what's the date?
August the 30th, 2024.
Is this for license 382850?
It is.
Looking at this middle paragraph, what?
Can I interrupt for a second?
Excuse me,
Because
this
it's
is.
not my name, so it's,
Oh,
It's a typo on that letter right there.
sir, let her present the questions. If you disagree with something, then you'll have an opportunity to correct or ask questions. The letter you're referring to is dated August the 27th, August 30th, correct?
Mhm.
August 30th. it's,
All right, now you'll have an opportunity, so wait, let her ask her questions. If you have a pencil or a paper, you might want to write down to make sure you have a question to ask after she speaks. Let's hear from the inspector. Please don't interrupt.
Okay.
Excuse me, this is Board Counsel Ryan McSherry. I just wanted to confirm, has the appellant been sworn in?
Yeah, I swear.
He was sworn in, I believe. Yes, yes, he was.
Okay.
So was this letter addressed to the appellant?
Yes, it was.
And so the opening line to a Mr. Ali, is that just a typo?
Definitely. Yes, it is.
All right, so looking at this middle paragraph, what is the code section that's the basis for this intent to revoke?
9-204, 3F.
Okay. And looking at the highlighted sentence, what is the language that was included in that?
The department determined that,
I'm having trouble hearing you, Ms. Jones. Could you?
the department determined that he was not operating the vending conveyance at his assigned location.
I'm going to.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, this is the court reporter. Could I ask counsel and the witness to sort of share the microphone a little more? I'm having difficulty hearing the attorney. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm showing you now what is the section that was cited in the letter, correct? 9-204.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to scroll down to section 3F, which was cited. Can you please read this highlighted portion into the record?
Each license is issued for the sole and exclusive use and benefit of the person in whose name it is issued and shall be non-assignable and non-transferable.
Okay, so the license holder is the sole and exclusive person who should be using the license essentially. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Are you familiar with an inspection that took, or for the record, what is the vending location at the top of this letter?
That would be the west side of 17th Street between Market and Ludlow.
And are you familiar with an inspection that took place on August 28th of 2023 at this location?
I am.
And would you recognize photos of that inspection?
I would.
All right, I'm showing what is City's Exhibit C3. Is this a photograph of that inspection date?
Correct.
And this is the cart in question?
It is.
Okay. Moving to the next page. What does this photo depict?
That's a photo of forms of payment on the cart.
What are the names that are on the forms of payment?
On this particular photo is a Wasi Faham.
And that is not the name that's on the license, correct?
No.
Turning to City's Exhibit C4, are you familiar with another inspection from March 26th of 2024?
Yes.
And is this a photo?
I'm sorry, you have to answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
And is this a photograph from that date?
it is.
On to the next page. Again, what are we looking at here?
Forms of payment on the cart.
And again, do any of these forms of payment list the appellant's name?
No.
And are you familiar with another inspection that took place on December 19th of 2024?
I am.
And I'm showing, should be marked as Exhibit 5. Okay, is that the date on this photograph?
It is.
Looking at this page now of Exhibit C5, what is the name on this? What are we looking at in this photo?
You're looking at two forms of payment for this cart, a Venmo and a Cash App.
And what are the names?
Venmo is Alejandro Cruz and Cash App is Wasi.
Is that the Wasi Faham or Faham from the previous photos?
It is.
Okay, so again, neither of these list the appellant's name, correct?
No.
Okay. Now showing City's Exhibit C6, what is the date on this photograph?
February 24th, 2025.
Again, what are we looking at in this photo?
Cash App goes to Wasi.
Now, can a license holder have employees?
He can with a wage account.
Do you know if appellant had wage accounts for employees at this time?
He did not.
I'm now going to show what's marked as City's Exhibit C7. What's this document?
That is a form that our office uses when we do yearly inspections of all the vendors in Center City.
And what is the date of this inspection?
8/9/17.
According to this form, who was working the cart at that time?
I don't want to mess the name up, but I'm gonna say Waggis Hayden or Hater.
And are you familiar with this name? Have you seen this name before?
He has renewed licenses for like 3 years for the appellant.
Okay, so Mr. Hyder has attempted to renew Mr. Code's license.
Correct.
Okay, and is that typical for department practice?
I'm gonna say, is not typical. But if you have access to someone's personal account, then it's accepted. I'm gonna say that.
Okay. But Mr. Code is not the only person who has attempted to renew this license in question that's in his name.
No.
Okay. So at any of the inspections that you've been to, have you recognized the appellant ever working the cart?
I have not physically seen him on the cart since 2019.
Okay. I would now like to move to appellant had provided exhibits himself to the board and to myself. I would like to show you what is appellant's exhibit number 5, beginning on page 7 of this packet. Okay. I'm showing you what appellant has provided as what appears to be a similar Venmo form with his name. Does this match any of the payment forms that we just saw through inspections?
No.
Turning to the next page, what about this one?
No.
Unless you've changed, I've only seen one
Oh.
exhibit.
This was the page 1 of Exhibit 5, and then
Yes.
I just turned to page 2 of Exhibit 5.
I see, okay, same name. But then this one has at Alejandro Cruz as opposed to something else on the other one.
Are you?
Is that correct, Inspector?
Repeat the question.
The first exhibit did have the name Yake Code, but then it had at Alejandro Cruz, and this
Right.
one, and this one has a Gyro King. 2 different ats.
Correct.
Thank you.
I'm now going to show what appellant has provided as his exhibit 8, beginning on page 16 of this packet. Are you familiar, have you had the chance to review these letters that appellant had provided to the department before today's hearing?
I have.
And when is this letter from?
This letter is from 2020. What is that, 2003?
And what is it conveying to the department?
That's a letter that was submitted saying that he was going to be away from his vending location from March the 3rd of 2023. And he will return, did I say 2023? 2003. And he will return on April the 10th, 2003.
Turning to page 2 of Exhibit 8, what is the date of this letter and the other?
This date is from February of 2005. And he would be leaving and returning on February 28th, 2006.
Okay. turning to page 3 of this same exhibit, what are the dates that he would be away that are highlighted in this letter?
January 5th, 2007, and he will return on February 28th, 2007.
I won't go through all of them, but and what about this letter?
December 7th of 2009, and he will return on March the 1st, 2010.
Okay, so can you explain why these letters are sent? Are these letters that are frequently received by the department?
Those letters are used if you're going to be away from your vending location for more than 20 consecutive days. So if you're going on vacation and you're not going to be there, they usually submit a letter and let us know when they're leaving and when they plan on returning.
And then I'm going to show now what is marked as Appellant's Exhibit 9, beginning on page 22 of this packet. Have you had a chance to review this email from the department to Mr. Kodai?
I have.
And what is the date?
The date of the letter is November 27th, 2013.
And the signature on the letter, Maureen Blaney, is that your supervisor?
Correct.
I'm just going to ask you briefly, can you just read the body of the email that was sent to Mr. Kodai?
She said she was in receipt of his fax regarding being absent from his location from October the 1st, 2013 until March 31st of 2014. And she stated that in the past 2 years, you have only operated at your location a total of 5 months. The remaining months you were away from your location. Then she goes on to explain the intention of the code to advise the department if you were going to be away from your location for more than 20 consecutive days was intended for vacations, emergencies, etc. Otherwise, you should be vending on a daily basis, which you have not been doing so for quite some time.
Okay, so just because a license holder may send these letters does not necessarily excuse long extended absences. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
Okay, and then I think the last exhibit I will show you for now is what is marked as Appellant's Exhibit 6 on page 12. What is this document that we're looking at?
That's a operation certificate from the health department.
Okay, and PIC, does that stand for person in charge?
Correct.
And who is the person in charge listed on this certificate?
Alejandro Cruz.
Okay. So just to reiterate, you testified, so the license holder is the sole and exclusive person who is intended to use the license that's in their name. That's correct?
Correct.
Okay. I have no further questions at this time. I'll leave my screen shared in case the appellant wants to refer to his exhibits at any point.
I have a question, Chairman.
Yes.
Inspector, was the last time Miss Blaney contacted the appellant was 2014? I'm not sure if I follow along right.
No, she was pointing out to him that he was turning in slips with large amounts of time that he was going to be away from the location. And she was letting him know that that's not what it was intended for. It was if you was going on vacation for more than 20 days, like he was doing yearly stretches.
So that was 2014?
That was in 2014 that she sent that out to him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Coday, do you have any questions for Inspector Jones based on her statements that she just gave to us? Do you have any questions on the statement she
To be
made?
honest with you, I don't even know what to ask.
Well,
mean, I
that,
have,
well,
I have,
turn-
I have
turn your
my- I
microphone
have
on.
I have answers for their, what they said.
all right,
Turn-
well,
Turn
that's,
your microphone on.
his microphone, it is on.
Oh, closer? Okay.
Okay. But you don't have any questions then?
I just don't know what, maybe for the last, only for the last paragraph, when she said the name on a license, it said my name and then the PNC, it's the different name. I
Yes.
just have a question.
You have a
I-
question?
No, I'm not sure if it's a question, but I have an answer why it's like that. Okay, so
you
then-
can, if you
okay,
don't
then-
have any questions,
Okay, no question.
all right, then this is your opportunity to explain to us why your appeal,
Okay.
your appeal of the notice to revoke your vending license.
I type big, it's look, but it's not that much, and I will explain one by one. Okay, first of all. I will
Move the
start-
microphone a
I will-
little closer.
I will-
Closer, not, you're
I will
pushing it the
I
wrong
will start
direction.
from the end. First of all, when they send me the letter, it's such a very important letter. They sent it as a stamp letter, not even registered. If I didn't see it, if it's a lost, I'm gone. So why they didn't send it a register mail if it's something so important?
Did you receive the letter, Mr. Code? Did you
Yeah.
receive it? Thank
Okay.
you.
No, I'm not complaining about, no, but I'm saying maybe just a point that something like that should be sent, but anyway.
Okay,
this is
but
the
you
la-
received the letter,
Yeah, yeah.
you filed an appeal.
I did that. Okay,
Wait,
that was the
wait,
last.
Just a moment. Only one person can speak at a time because this is being transcribed. So if I'm speaking or one of the board members is speaking, you can't speak. So what I wanted to say is your appeal was filed on September 9th, and according to the records from the department, attached to it was a letter that was dated August 27, sent to Yoke Code at 7317 Brentwood Road. So you did receive the letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, this is not, it's just like, by the way, I said, okay, anyway, let's go to the more important. First of all, LNI ignore code 924, but not giving warning to resolve this issue as required by law before mailing the violation. They're supposed to give me at least 1 or 2 warning before they file a violation to revoke my license. That's number 1. Number 2, LNI determined that I'm not operating and vending on my location, but did not provide any real evidence or proof. The photos that LNI include are not relevant to their claim. It shows the card and the option of payment only. The name on the payment, it's only a barcode with the username, only for my convenience to know how much each guy collect when they work there, and that is to avoid scam. Because I have some guys working there, so everybody get his email with the name on it. That's what the different names. I have also see, I have also one with my name on it. The same thing. It doesn't, every person work, I try to give them one of those way of payment so I can follow them. I'm not there all the time, so I don't want somebody to cheat me. So I give everybody, that's what's a different name, but the licenses, it's on my name. But the payment, if you work for me, if you take the money, I need to make sure you give me the money after. So this is the way to do it. You put every person work, I will give them that number and I will put his name. So I know when he collect the money, then I know how much he take. So I don't get any, nobody can fool me on that. So that's for that. So anyway, let's continue. So this is to avoid scam, basically. That's why the different name. Now, I have also shown the card photo way of payment. Yeah, I have one also in the showing the payment. Oh, when showing, it doesn't mean I'm not, okay, let's start. By showing the card photo and the way of payment, it doesn't mean I'm not vending on my location. But she gave you to see the vendor and the payment way of payment. It doesn't mean I'm not working in my location. I'm sorry, a little bit nervous, so I'm just,
Okay, that's okay. You're doing fine.
I'm working with the stand for 38 years. It's the first time I have that kind of issue, but we need to pass that also. Okay. And then I said the most proof that I own the operate and drive the car It's to compare the license plate and the registration to make sure this is, the registration and your license plate, if it's matched, that's the more accurate than to see those payment information. Okay, now I said here, I always operate in my location and never transfer my licenses to anyone else. Here is all my valid licenses with my name. And that's going to be on exhibit. Okay, we don't need right now.
Well, unfortunately, what the letter that was sent to you before the hearing said if you wanted to submit any.
I did.
Well, you,
She just showed you what she wanted, but I did.
oh, you did, okay.
I have them on my, I believe,
All the
I
licenses.
believe I have all of the exhibits that he sent
Yeah.
me and the
Okay.
board. I could put them up if I know what he.
All right, so
Yeah, I have-
you
I
have
have-
all the valid
I
licenses.
can show you, I have all the valid licenses absolutely on my name.
Okay,
This is group, I will put them together here, so you know, all these licenses, you can see, all the licenses is right here.
okay.
Actually, it's there, but I don't have the option of the. Ms. Farmer, could you put his exhibits up?
I have, this is the exhibit packet. Do you know what exhibit number it is? I believe this is the license that is exhibit 6, is that
Exhibit 6. yeah.
6? Okay, that's on the screen.
You know what number exhibits? What number exhibits are behind that first page?
Before that?
Behind
or
what you
behind?
have?
No, all the licenses I put like exhibit 6.
And were those all given to Ms. Carmody?
Yeah.
So can you scroll, would you scroll, Ms. Carmody, please, to show us what he's?
We see a license from 2024 to
This is-
2025.
This is
So-
all valid. This is from this
Yeah,
year.
we
Yeah,
understand.
we
We just want to see
understand.
them.
Okay,
This is the next page, or this is the next page that's in exhibit 6, appellant exhibit
Okay.
6.
that's from 1990.
Yes.
No, this is
That's
one
the
you do
business
once
license.
for all the time. This is the business license.
Okay,
Flip to the next, or that's that was the last page of exhibit
all right.
6.
Oh, we
Go
have-
ahead, Mr. Coday.
Listen, no, we have some more.
Okay,
I have the city, and I even put my car registration here, so you can see if it's my name. And if she will show you the picture of the car, and then she will see it's matched exactly with the registration. So we didn't fool it to give to somebody else to play around with that.
Okay, if I can just lodge an objection, I want to object to relevance only because the city is not arguing that the physical cart belongs to Mr. Coday. The city is not arguing that the name on the license is not Mr. Coday's. What the city is arguing is that under the section cited in the letter 9-2043F, Mr. Coday is not the sole and exclusive beneficiary of the license activity right now. So I don't want to stray from the point to think that the issue is there is a literal name transfer on the license. That's not what the issue is. The issue is sole and exclusive use of the license. So I just want to lodge that.
your objection, just a moment, just a moment. Your objection is sustained. We don't need to see information regarding the fact that the licenses were issued in your name. We don't need to see information regarding the license on your car and who it's registered. That's not what's before us today. The question before us is who is operating in the cart on a daily basis.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's the question. We understand that you may be the legal owner of the cart, that the license plates on the car and on the cart all relate to you, but who's operating the actual cart?
No,
Okay,
The reason I'm sure, because in their claim, they think that I transferred the licenses. That's why I brought them to show that all in my name. I didn't give this to anybody else.
okay, we believe you, you didn't transfer the
Okay.
license as
Oh,
well. The
okay.
city All the city says is that there appears to be someone else
Okay,
operating the cart and it's not you.
okay. So let me please allow me to continue. And that's the Philadelphia section code 92413 allow vendor to be absent for more than 20 days with no time limit, or to provide reason why to be absent. Absent the card. Just need to report to LNI the starting and returning days. That's the law. I can leave the card.
All right, well, fine, that's the, what's the section of the law you're quoting?
Yeah, you should show them exhibit.
No, just tell me the section again.
9-2413.
Very good.
Okay, and I have it in,
You submitted a copy of that as your exhibit?
yes, it's right here.
Ms. Carmody, do you have that? Is that a copy of the provisions from the code?
Let me pull up the code. 9-204.
Was that submitted? I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
we
it's-
could
it's
pull-
there.
Was, but I don't believe this is a, you're citing 9-20413C, which I have.
This exhibit package, if he submitted it, we
Yeah,
would-
she's got, well, yeah, you didn't get it from Deborah.
So I'm displaying what is highlighted here. So let me,
Let us see. if you-
sure, I'm trying to. Okay, so this is what he handed me in his
Yeah,
exhibits.
Okay. So if you're referring to the
So
section.
I just want to continue to read, so you will understand.
No,
Ah.
let me read what you just submitted to make sure we have it, reading it correctly.
Oh, okay.
All right, this is a copy of section of section 9204, sidewalk vendors in Center City. And it says under subsection C, subsection 0.3, failure to conduct licensed operations for any consecutive 20-day period without prior notice to the department, receipt of which has been duly acknowledged by the department. Violation of this subsection 9-204, paren 13, paren C, paren 0.3 shall result in license revocation. So what you're referring to is a section that requires the licensee to give notice if they are going to be not operating for a
Exactly.
period of 20 consecutive days. It doesn't talk about a longer period of time.
Exactly, that's exactly the
But it
point.
says, right, it only talks about being absent for 20 days.
Yeah, but.
Not longer.
No, he said
No.
if you're more than 20, you need to report them, but it doesn't limit you how long longer. You can be 1 month, 2 months, it doesn't say. But if you less than 20 days, then you need to
Okay,
report.
you're fine. I hear that's your argument.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I may-
Wait, Ms. Carmody,
Let's go
let's hear
forward.
from Mr.
Yeah,
Kodak.
because this is the whole thing, it's based on that.
Yes, yes, we understand.
Okay, now let me just to continue. Now let me. Allow vendors to be absent more than 20 days with no time limit, or to provide reason. I don't have to give the reason why I'm leaving. Now, the law intended to give vendor the freedom how and when to be operate their cart. They give us the freedom to do that. How long I want to be, 1 month, 2 months, it's up to us. Just need to report to LNI the starting and the returning days.
Okay.
I have, so 1 second. Even the city supply us with the code
Mhm.
and they give us a very simple letter here. What need to do, they want everybody to give the same letter, not everybody will start to
All
make
right.
us.
All
So
right,
they give
fine.
us a simple letter, when you leave 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, just tell the LNI when you coming and when you leaving, that's about it.
Okay.
May I ask to see the pamphlet that you?
Yeah, can you share? Yeah.
Could
just
you
to
show
share.
that to Ms. Carmody?
Sure.
I would like to note on the record that this is a Center City Sidewalk Sales Handbook that is marked from 1993. The code has been recodified most recently. The relevant section that we're speaking of was recodified in May of 2018. I have a copy of that order, of that bill here. So this is over 30 years old.
Okay.
It is not up to date. So I would object to any
Wait just a minute.
anything from that handbook being admitted into evidence as it's not relevant, it's outdated. And again, I would just ask that the letter, the cited code section in the letter is very narrowly tailored, 92043F. It has nothing to do with whatever section he was referring to about 20 days and providing letters. That is all irrelevant. But
So, Mr. Code, just so you know, we're not going to accept, I'm not accepting your representation of that page from the manual because it's not the current manual for the city. All right, but go ahead, you can make argument. I'm accepting the objection, sustained.
Okay, I have an answer for that. First
Okay.
of all,
No, you
No,
don't have an answer.
You can't use that book.
no, I'm not using, I just want to tell you, I started to work at the stand in 1987. We will
Oh.
get that. Okay, only what I use with this book is the letter to be absent, that's about
As the response to that, Mr. Code, as the council has said, is that the language has been revised as of 2018. So you need not make any reference to that letter and that form to us because because it is no longer good and no longer applies. So let's move on, please. Continue with your testimony.
Can I do before 8:18?
No, can you continue with your testimony?
Sure. Now, in November 27, 2013, suddenly I received email from LNI asking me to stop mailing the absent letter in 2013, and she said it's on start in 2018, and forced me to return back to work. I was very surprised knowing the request, it's against the law. Back then in 2013, that will still. I went to LNI office. I talked to them and explained the vendor allowed to be absent, but they just ignored me. They said, I respected LNI letter and stopped reporting about my absence. I stopped reporting. That's why I'm not using this book anymore. Since 2013, I'm not using this book anymore. By the way, at that time when I was absent, I was going through 2 heart surgeries and other health issue, and I didn't work. So I have to take that time. Okay, just very short here. Now, the letter from LNI were on, but knowing the law is by my side, I continue to be absent alternately for 12 years. And I never received any notice or violation or complaint from LNI until now. Since 12 years, I've never heard anything. This is the first time during 38 years LNI wants to revoke my license. And why? Just because they didn't follow the law. Because back then the law to be absent still have to give them the letter. How absurd. If LNI just let me to inform them about the absence, they will not be mailing me this notice. 38 years, I respect and follow LNI law and also make my own decision how to operate my card or when to be absent. And I never heard anything, any complaint from LNI. I said, sorry, with all my respect to LNI, but LNI is not my employer. tell me where to come and when not to come and do stuff like that. Okay, now, this is the last one. This is about the envelope. Also, LNI sent me a notice by stamped letter. This is critical letter and must be sent by register mail with proof of delivery. Lucky me, it didn't. Lucky me, it didn't lost. Otherwise, I will not be able to appeal, and LNI will revoke my license, and this is no justice. After that being said, I respectfully asking the Board of the Administrator to dismiss this claim, to follow the law and don't limit my absent time, and to receive all email from LNI also by email.
Mr. Coday, couple of questions. Do you have any information, any copy of any regulation that requires the department to send you a letter by certified mail?
If I have any?
Do you have a copy of a regulation or a provision in the city code that required that notice be sent to you by certified mail?
I don't have.
Okay, so you've alleged that the city should have sent the letter to you by certified mail,
It's a
but you don't have any evidence or proof that that's a requirement.
No, no.
Okay, okay.
Just a
No,
recommendation.
No, that's fine. That's a good recommendation in the future. Also, is it true that over the course since 2012, this is now 2025, so that's 13 years, have you been absent from your cart for more than 20 days in each of those years?
Yes, I have.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Carmody, do you have any questions for Mr. Coday?
Briefly. Mr. Coday, so in reviewing,
You've answered my question.
No, I didn't finish.
Carmody has the.
I forgot. One sentence. Because
Just, just a minute. You've answered my question.
I didn't finish it. That's just one sentence.
Okay.
I didn't send them the letter because the ONI told me not to send.
I hear you. You answered my question. Okay, Ms. Carmody.
thank you. I reviewed all of the exhibits that you'd sent. I appreciate you sending them in. I had a question about part of your exhibit 2, which is on page 4 of this packet. On paragraph 6 here, you state that you continued to be absent for 12 years from your cart after that initial letter from 2013. When was the last time that you were operating the business that's at issue?
I made the vendor most of the time, not always. In my age, I'm 71 already. Actually, I'm planning to retire to give the license back to the city in 3 or 4 years. I just don't to be kicked as a bad guy, like somebody revoke my license. I'm planning to give my license back to the city.
Can you answer the question, Mr. Coday?
Yes. Sometime during the winter time when it's snow or cold weather, I'm off. But now I'm as a vendor.
You don't have to give a long answer. The question was, when was the last time you were operating the cart?
It was like 3 weeks I was there.
For how long?
I mean, 2 hours when you work, all the vendors work we work like 3 or 4 hours a day.
Okay. All
So,
right.
and
You've
now-
answered the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, I like to have employees.
You've answered the question.
So the city's inspector testified that a Mr. Wakas Hyder had attempted to renew your license. Are you aware that he had attempted to renew the license on your behalf?
No, he didn't remove my license. He just sometimes, if he need to do inspection, I send him to do the inspection for me and they put his name there. But I'm the owner for the license. I'm the owner for the stand.
Okay.
But if I can send one of my guys and say, you know what, do me a favor, go pass the inspection for the car. But when they go there, they put the name of the license is my name. But who did that? They put the other name for the guy he did that. If I send you, your name will be there.
Do you have any of these people whose names, Mr. Cruz, the other gentleman, are they listed as wage employees with the city's Department of Licenses and the Health Department, licenses and inspections?
Revenue. Yeah, I I have a letter from the revenue and I have for the wages, but the problem with these guys.
No, the answer is, have you listed, because I believe the requirement is that if you have people that are working in the cart for you, you have to list them as
No.
wage employees.
They have, okay.
So the question I'm asking you, which is a yes or no question, have you sent to the city notification of these employees as wage employees?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
You've answered the question.
And,
I have one question. Those wage employees, did you pay city wage tax on those employees? You have proof of that?
Actually, I'm supposed to get refund. I'm supposed to get refund.
You have a letter right there, Mr. Godet?
A letter here?
Yeah, you're handling some paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
this
that the letter that shows to us that you have them listed as wage employees with the
No, no, no,
department?
that's not the letter.
That's not the question I asked. Your employees pay city wage tax.
Yes,
Do you have proof of that now?
I don't have it now. I wasn't prepared for that.
Thank you.
and one final question. Do you recall filing a different appeal in front of this board in 2023? Is this your first appeal before the Board of L&I review?
I feel, yeah, one appeal, I file.
I'm sorry, I'm having difficulty hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I should be close. I even forgot what's the reason why.
But did you file another appeal? That's Ms. Carmody's.
Yeah, but not for that one. I guess I get, what's the reason?
Well, that's
Hey.
fine. The answer is yes, that you filed another appeal to this
No, I
board.
paid, no, I filled for delay. I got a violation. I didn't respond on time, so I asked for late appeal.
Okay,
I
thank you.
And they
wanted,
just deny it, and that was.
All
I
right,
paid the
thank
fine.
you. Thank you.
if I may just introduce what I will mark as City's Exhibit C8. Mr. Code, is this the appeal form that you were referring to? Did you fill out this appeal from August of 2023?
Yeah. I think it's my handwriting.
And looking at this center highlighted part, did you indicate to the board to please send any correspondence to Awasi Faham?
Yeah,
Do you normally send your business correspondence to others
No.
other than yourself?
at that time I was overseas. That's why I didn't get the letter. So I didn't want to have another problem. They told us, the department, when we went there, they told me, just give another name so we can send the letter. So I gave his name, but that's about it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I have no further questions at this time. Stop share.
All right.
My life is in
Oh,
that.
if I may
state.
mark and move the city's exhibits C1 through C8 into the record, please, before I
All
forget.
right, they're admitted.
Thank you.
They're admitted. Okay, Mr. Code, would you try to give us your argument as to why your appeal, I think you've presented it, but I want to make sure you have an opportunity to tell us why your appeal should be granted.
Okay. I'm not good with that, but I will try. I'm not, I'm a street vendor.
Well, no.
Yeah, okay, I, first of all, I came to this country in
No. Can you just talk about the violation?
So
please?
I'm here, I'm working at the stand for 38 years. I
Okay.
never had any serious violation. I didn't do any bad. I always followed the law. Obviously, I didn't have for 38 violation other than that one that I was overseas. This is my living. I'm already 71 years old. I don't want to retire and then somebody kick me out from the street. I love the stand. I love the city. And plus, I think I was right. I'm working at the stand. I'm working very hard. But you need to understand the situation of the vendor. Sometimes it's rain, you're not showing up. Sometimes winter, it's snow. I was after 2 heart surgery. I have to take almost 6 months off. So they cannot they force me. That's why we get the freedom. So we can, and now I'm at the stand and I have 2 guys. Sometimes they replace me, sometimes not. And I think let me to continue with the stand another 3-4 years and I'm retired. I'm 71 and probably by 75, I will bring the licenses to this LNI, say thank you very much. and let's say, leave it friendly, not leave it with them so bitter inside. I don't think it's fair to do that to me at that time and age. After 38 years, they never complain about me. It's
all right.
only now I'm not looking.
Thank you, Mr. Code.
I'm excited. I'm so. No, because
All right, and you-
it's my life. You don't understand.
Yes.
Mr. Code. You have to speak calmly so the court reporter can take down what you're saying. Otherwise, if you needed to make an appeal, you wouldn't be able to do that because you wouldn't have a clean record. That's why we're asking you to please try to speak a little more calmly.
And you've made those statements already, so we understand your position that you've had the cart for a long time.
Okay.
Ms. Carmody, your argument, please?
Briefly, so members of the board, what this comes down to is the basis for the intent to revoke the license, which as stated is 92043F. The license at issue is for the sole and exclusive use and benefit of the license holder, which is Mr. Code. We've heard testimony from the department that others have tried to renew this license for him. Other people are operating the cart on a regular basis. Other people's names are associated with the intake of payment for this cart associated with this license. And appellant has provided his own evidence and it has admitted on the record that he has been away from his cart periodically for at least the last 12 years. So it's the city's position that this is a repeated violation of the section at issue and is a valid basis to issue this revocation at issue. So the city would respectfully ask that the intent to revoke letter be affirmed.
Liberty to ask a couple of questions before we
Absolutely,
close.
sure.
I'd like to ask a couple of questions of both of the witnesses before we decide to vote. Sure, I do this part. So I'd like to ask Inspector Jones, was it your testimony that there was no record that Mr. Code had, what is the correct term now? Evidence of employees that work for him? There's a specific term that you used that the
Wage
department.
account.
Wage account for employees that work for him at this cart. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. He does not have a wage account.
Okay. And if other persons work at that cart or any cart in the city for the licensee, they would be required under law to have wage accounts so that the city could collect tax. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kodai, you testified that you were absent from your cart for a period of time because you had heart surgery. 2 heart surgeries. Glad to see that you are well. Did you report your absence to the department, the basis for your absence to the department? You notified them in writing that you were having heart surgery.
I'm sorry, I'm
Did
not.
you notify,
I-
did you note, and you have to speak into the mic.
Yes.
While you were absent from your cart, you personally absent from your cart, was your cart closed?
Yeah, nobody was there at that time. But I didn't close for the whole time. I part-time, sometimes I find the guy, he worked for
So the answer to my question is your cart was not closed.
not closed hermet, not closed totally, no. Always somebody was there, me or maybe somebody else.
So someone else was operating your cart under your license, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I cannot give him my license,
But he was operating under your license. He did not have a license of his
but
own.
he's working like as my helper there.
But he's not an employee, is he?
He's-
Was he?
It was employee, well, we can't as an employee because I went to the, how they called it, the taxes people, and we fixed all the paper there. I don't know exactly what they did there.
And do you have,
He's
I think we
registered.
asked this question, but you don't have any evidence
No,
that
no,
you,
I
of
didn't-
of a wage account with the
I
city?
didn't bring anything with me here.
Is there a
But
copy?
they will not let me, believe me, they will not let me work there for.
Yep.
free.
Thank you
Okay.
very much, Mr. Code.
Mr. Pettit, did you have a question? All right, we'd like to have a brief executive session and then we'll vote the case, okay? Just a moment, please. Thank. All right, thank you for your patience, Mr. Code, City. We'll vote the case now. My vote is city affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
So the vote is that the city's position is affirmed. You've lost your appeal. You'll get a letter from the city in writing notifying you of our decision. That letter will tell you what your rights are with regard to appealing that decision. You'll get a letter in the mail in the next week or 10 days telling you, confirming the decision that we made today, which was unanimous, to affirm the position of the city. Thank you, Mr. Code.
Thank you, members of the board.
Let me just make my note here. That was,
This was number
this was number 13. 13, city affirmed. Okay. All right. Mr. Motto, there's no one else in the room. There are a couple of attorneys for the city.
You inquired about the matter for matter 33, sir?
Yes, that's the one that the witness has to leave. Yes, let's do number 33. Miss Inspector Jones, do you have another case coming up today? Okay. Okay, well, let's do number 33.
This is hearing appeal ending 4526 for the property 519 East Cabot Street, Expedito Mercado.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Mercado?
Yes.
Okay. It says Bethoven's iPhone. Are you Expedito Mercado?
Yes. Expedito Beethoven Mercado.
Okay. Just a moment. Who's representing the city?
I am Roses Lachlan for the city.
Okay. Mr. Mercado, can I ask you to raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Miss Lachlan.
Yes, and the city for this matter will call Mr. William Patterson as its witness.
Mr. Patterson, Inspector Patterson,
I'm here.
could you raise your right hand, please? You're in a vehicle, are you stopped and
I'm not
parked?
driving. I'm in the parking lot. I'm not driving.
Okay, you're not moving.
No, I'm not moving. The car's
Okay.
off.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Ms. Lachlan, you may proceed.
Yes. So this is a matter of a defective lateral. On October 30, 2024, the Philadelphia Water Department issued an NOD for a defective lateral to the property at 519 East Cabot Street. A defective lateral is in violation of the Philadelphia Code, Section 13502. This defect was confirmed by a dye test performed at the property by the Philadelphia Water Department Sewer Maintenance Unit. And as of March 6, 2025, no permits for this address are in the system and the defect has not been corrected. And so I will ask Mr. Patterson if he could state his name and title with the city.
William Patterson, sewer maintenance crew chief.
And how long have you been employed with the water department?
5 years.
And are you familiar with the property located at 519 East Cabot Street?
Yes.
And were you able to review the records and the work orders associated with this property?
Yes.
And are these the type of records that are typical for the business of the water department?
Yes.
And they are made around the same time as the inspection by the person who actually performed the inspection.
Yes.
And then can you,
Ms. Laughlin, do you
Yes.
have the exhibits? We appeared, I don't seem to have a copy of them that I can scroll to. So.
yes, I can share my screen and put those on now. Yes. So can you see the CityWorks report?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Patterson, is this the type of records that are typical that you
Yes.
reviewed? And so I will now show the notice of defect.
I'm sorry, Ms. Laughlin. Could you just please go back to that exhibit? I'm looking
Sure.
for the appellant's name on that document.
It will be just the address of the work order.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are the internal records, but I will show the NOD, which does include the appellant's name here. Okay, and so can you, Mr. Patterson, can you explain what the notice of defect in this case was issued for?
The notice of defect in this situation was served for a defective lateral.
And can you explain what the lateral is and why a defect in it would be problematic?
Explain to you what the lateral is. The lateral is the final sewage pipe that's coming from the house right before it drops into the sewer. And if it's a defective lateral, it causes cave-ins and stuff like that. All the dirt washes away from the street every time they wash water or flush the toilet or anything. Dirt washes away until it causes a huge cave-in the street.
And so at 519 East Cabot Street, how did the water department know that there was a defective lateral there?
We performed a dye test, a dye test on a hole. When the dye showed in the sewer, one of my guys crawled up the sewer and to positively ID the laterals, we dye test the vent box on the sidewalks right in front of the properties to positively ID which laterals are defective.
So the dye test is able to show you which address the defect is associated with?
Yes.
And who is responsible for maintaining the lateral?
The property owner.
And I will show, this is the responsibility chart that's included with the notice of defects. And it shows the lateral, as Mr. Patterson said, and the property owner's responsibility. And then Mr. Patterson, could you explain what the consequences are of a lateral that goes unfixed?
Laterals that goes unfixed tend to make bigger problems. It causes cave-ins in the street, and in some cases, it'll cause the property owner's sewage to not get out of the house because it may be blocked once it collapses.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. That concludes the city's questions for the witness. And with the board's permission, the city moves to have City Exhibit 33 added to the record.
That he's accepted. Mr. Mercado, do you have any questions based on the statements made by Inspector Patterson? You can, or Supervisor Patterson, you can present your explanation in a moment, but do you have any questions based on what he said?
No.
Okay. Mr. Mercado, would you want to explain to us why you filed this appeal?
On June 2024, the Philadelphia Gas Company dig and install a gas line to two new build house, the 518 and 516 East Cabot Street. During that time, the Philadelphia Gas Company break the main water supply. And after that, the Philadelphia Gas Company called the water department to fix the pipe. Some degree went to the second floor of the house of 519 and 517 Cabot Street. During that time, when they finish it, they dump a gravel and where the Philadelphia Gas Company dig to fill up the manhole, and they compact it with the the machine.
Mr. Mercado, I'm sorry, I'm having a little difficulty understanding everything you're saying. So I just want to confirm what you said is that the gas company, at least your belief is that the gas company was doing some work, PGW, in the street, and that they broke some of the lines in the street. Is that what you just said?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So you want me to continue now?
yes. Now,
Okay.
if they broke the lines in the street and caused your lateral to become defective, would or should you not have then notified the gas company? Or did you notify the gas company?
We did notify the Philadelphia Gas Company, and we text them, we emailed them.
Sir, if you have someone there, you're the only person who's in,
Okay.
you filed
I'm
the,
sitting beside my wife.
is she an owner of the property?
Yeah. I'm the co-owner too of the property.
Would you identify yourself? We only usually just have one person testify, but are you're a co-owner with Mr. Mercado?
Yes, my name is Olga Mercado. I'm his wife.
Okay, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, now, we try to keep one person testifying at a time. Do you want to present the case, or do you want your husband to present the case?
I can pick it up from here. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
So what he's saying is that in June of 2024, they did some digging, and what happened was there was an explosion on the main pipe, which I submitted together with my appeal in October when we got the letter of violation. So from there, we've been following up, and because we were not the one who did the digging. So we told them, we didn't realize at first that our lateral was damaged until we got a letter from them.
Did you do anything after you got the letter to try to confirm whether your lateral was broken or not?
No.
Have you done anything since you got a letter in August of 2024?
What I did was file an appeal.
Okay.
All we did.
All right, very good. Anything else you want to explain to us?
So that is, our problem, because we're not the one who did the initial digging. So our question is, why are we being penalized for this, for this damage?
Okay, all right. Yeah, go ahead.
Mrs. Mercado, you just said something about an explosion.
Yes.
Was that explosion, to the best of your knowledge, caused by the gas company or by the water department?
Well, when they first did the digging with PGW, so there was an explosion, which I said I gave a picture together with my appeal. This was the picture that my neighbor took because we were out of the state. So this is the picture that they took. This is in front of our house.
And that's the result of the explosion?
Yes, and like my husband said, debris went to the roof of our house and on our neighbor's house. So our neighbor actually claimed something from the department for the cleanup because it was too much in their roof. But in ours, I just told my husband to just clean it because we doesn't want that. It's too much to claim and all that. So he just did the best that he could, but we still have, a good amount of debris in our roof.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Go ahead.
So as a follow-up, did you, I believe Chairman Pincus asked this question, but did you do any follow-up with a plumber of your own or anyone to determine what the cause of the defect in your lateral was when you received the notice?
I believe my husband asked his plumber, if what happened to it, and they said, it's impossible for it to be our problem because it's like 6 feet under, and since there was work done, it's not our fault that this is it's being pinned on us.
And did your plumber provide you with something in writing to that effect?
No.
Thank you.
All right. Do you have any cross-examination, Ms. Laughlin?
I just want to confirm that the appellant believes that the lateral is defective. Or is that what you said?
Would you repeat your question, state your question, please?
Yes. Is it your opinion that there is damage to the lateral pipe in front of your home?
Well, we cannot really say that because we don't have the ability to test it. So we're just, taking whatever your department as an inspector, did. So, that's what we just.
All right.
Okay. I understand. Thank you.
All right. Do you have any, you've made your presentation. Do you have any further statements you want us to hear, Ms. Mercado?
No, I think that's it.
Ms. Laughlin? You have a closing argument?
Yes. So in conclusion, the city maintains that this notice of defect was correctly issued to 519 East Cabot Street for defective lateral. And really the issue before the board is narrow here, just whether the lateral is defective and whether the notice was issued correctly. And as a note, that the Board of Licenses and Inspection is not the proper best venue to determine who's responsible for the act of breaking the lateral, whether it's defective through the fault of PGW or the petitioner or just simple wearing out. The NOD is correct in identifying the defect, as has been confirmed by Mr. Patterson and the city's re-inspections. So we would ask that the NOD be affirmed. Thank you.
All right. We're in a position to vote the case. My vote is city affirmed.
Feel sustained.
City affirmed.
All right. This is unfortunate, Ms. Mercado. The decision of the majority of us today is that the violation was properly issued by the Water Department, and therefore we're supporting the determination made by the Water Department. If your water lateral needs to be repaired and hasn't been repaired, or if you've repaired it and the damage was caused by the Philadelphia Gas Works, PGW, you may have a claim to file against them for the expenses you've incurred. The lateral line itself is the responsibility of the homeowner to take care of it. It's not the Water Department's responsibility to maintain that line. The only line that the Water Department is responsible for is the water line and the sewer line in the street. So if this needs to be repaired and the city says your lateral is defective, it's broken, it needs to be fixed. You could, if you needed to get a loan, the city Water Department can help you get low interest or reduced interest loan to make the repairs. And if you have a claim against the Philadelphia Gas Works because of whatever explosion there was, you should pursue with the Philadelphia Gas Works making that kind of a claim. You may want to consult with your city council representative and see if they have someone in their office who might be able to help you work through this. All right, I'm sorry, but the decision of the majority of us here today is that the city's violation was properly issued. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Just
Can
a
I say
moment.
something first?
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, for our side, it's not fair for us. We have to do the repair.
Well,
We-
I think
Yeah.
we understand that. If you listen to what I just said to you and your wife, I've explained to you how to best to try to resolve this matter. Okay, you can ask your wife if you didn't understand anything I just said, but I explained to you how to go about resolving this matter. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, just a moment, please. What case is this? This is 33. Mr. Motto?
Turning your attention, sir, to case number 9, a hearing appeal ending 3964, 15th Street between Vine Street and Ray Street, East Side, number 124, Sana Amin.
Good morning, members of or afternoon, members of the board. Jim Kelly on behalf of the city.
All right, just a moment, please. All right, Mr. Kelly? Just a moment.
I do. I'm not sure if the appellant's present, though.
Okay, hold on one moment. All right, Mr. Motto, you called the case. Is,
There's no one in the room, sir, bearing that name. The appellant's listed 11 South Kirkland Avenue, Upper Darby, PA, in their appeal. Notice of this hearing was sent to that address on 1/29/25.
Sana Amin? Sana Amin, are you present? We're not getting a response, Mr. Kelly?
As a result, the city would be asking for a city affirm for failure to appear.
Mr. Pettit, you have the time.
4:01 PM.
My vote is city firm for non-appearance by the appellant.
City affirm non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That concludes my.
Turning your attention, sir, to item number 10 on the list, hearing appeal ending 4008, 38th Street between Locust and Spruce Street, KT1. Rachel Tran is the appellant.
Good afternoon, Board. Caitlin Carmody on behalf of the city.
Hello again, Ms. Carmody. We're
Um,
busy today. Is Rachel Tran present?
No one in the hearing room, sir, bearing that name. Ms. Tran listed 145 Lawnside Avenue, Collingswood, New Jersey as her address in the appeal. Notice of this hearing was sent to that address on 1/29/25.
Rachel Tran, are you present? No one's responding? What would your request be, Ms. Carmody?
We would request a city affirmed for failure to appear.
Very good. The time, Mr. Pettit.
4:02 PM.
My vote is city affirmed for lack of appearance by the appellant. Your vote.
City firm non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
All right, decision is that the city's affirmed.
Thank you. That concludes my
Thank
matters
you.
for the day.
Have a good afternoon.
You as well.
If I may, sir, I'd call your attention to number 12, hearing appeal ending 3723. That's 17th Street between Ludlow Street and Ranstead West Side, number 196. Hassan Ali is the appellant.
Mr. Lowe.
Good afternoon again, board members. Sean Loeb for the city.
Hassan Ali. Hassan Ali, are you present?
Mr. Pincus, there's no one in the room bearing that name. The appellants have listed 15 Sunshine Road, Upper Darby, PA in their appeal. Notice of this hearing was sent to, give me 1 second. I cannot confirm good service on this one, sir. In the appeal, the appellants listed 15 Sunshine Road, Upper Darby. Notice of this hearing was sent to 22 South Randolph Street, Upper Darby.
Would you,
Sir.
if I'm hearing that correctly, you have two different addresses?
I have an address that the appellant put in the appeal, and I have a separate address that the notice of the hearing was sent to, both in Upper Darby, but two different street addresses.
Understood. I mean, I was going to request a city affirm for failure to appear, but given that, I think it probably makes sense to continue this matter.
I think you're right. Unfortunately, I guess you should send the notice to the address that was listed in the appeal, Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll continue case number 12, right? And you'll send out new notice for a new
Correct.
hearing.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And it-
Sorry, Mr. Lowe.
That's okay. I think that was the last case for Inspector Jones. I don't know if she's still present.
Yeah, she's been here.
Okay, thank you for coming in, Inspector. You're dismissed for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
All right, so that leaves, all right, Mr. Moto.
We are back up to the top of the list, sir. That's case number 1. Hearing appeal ending 3802, 3125 Tilton Street, Erica March.
Erica Marsh, are you present?
Hearing no answer from the appellant, sir. Notice of this, the appellants listed 3125 Tilton Street in their appeal, and notice of this hearing was sent to 3125 Tilton Street on 1/29/25.
All right, one more time. Erica Marsh, 3125 Tilton Street. She is not present. Who is counsel? Is that you again, Ms. Laughlin?
It is.
All right, what would you request?
I would request city affirmed for failure to appear.
Mr. Pettit, do you have the time?
4:05 PM.
Okay, my vote is city affirmed for failure to appear. Mr. Pettit.
City firm non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
All right, city affirmed for non-appearance, case number 1.
Thank you. And that concludes the lower court's matters for today.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Laughlin.
Thank you.
I think we have 2 more cases. Mr. Motto,
I believe one more, sir.
number 16 and number Okay,
Can we take just a short recess? Sorry for short.
a recess?
Yeah, I want to just ask.
Okay, vote sheet. Number 16.
This is hearing appeal. No, this is case number 16, hearing appeal ending 27665801 Market Street, TNT Grocery 5 Incorporated. Hey Jan Bayek Esquire is present in the hearing room, sir,
Uh-huh.
virtually.
And good afternoon, Kristen Patchell on behalf of the city.
Okay, and Ayon Bake?
Yeah, Your Honor,
Yes.
can you hear me? Yes.
can't
Right
see
now,
you.
okay.
Yes.
Right now, I guess that there is two hearings going on at the same time. We are respectfully requesting continuance for this case because we didn't think that another hearing is gonna stay
have
from 1:30 on now, and it is kind of federal cases, so I am respectfully requesting a continuance.
Because you're in, if I hear you correctly, I don't see you, but you're counsel in this matter, and you're involved in another hearing at the present time for the.
Yes, Your Honor.
For the same parties or different?
No, not the same party. It's a Zoom hearing that is going on right now with another computer right now, Your Honor.
All right, just a moment. Ms. Paschal, do you have a problem continuing this case? You probably have a representative. I see Ms. Wilkins.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I apologize. I'm having difficulty hearing.
Oh, well, I'm just asking Ms. Paschal, there's now been a request for a continuance.
Yes, Chairman Pincus, I have had Supervisor Wilkins sitting here all day, which is unfortunate. However, ultimately, the city will defer to the board on this matter. I do understand that council's in the middle of another hearing. I would just note for the record that this is the second listing, and I'd ask for a must be tried at the next.
That is okay, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm inclined under the circumstances to accept your request for the continuance. It's the second time this case has been listed. So if it comes up again, I trust that you will find that you can arrange to make yourself available for this case. And if you're involved in something else, you'll find a way to recuse yourself from that matter.
Your Honor, that is understood. Yes.
Okay, we'll continue this matter.
Okay.
All right. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ms. Paschal. Thank you, Ms. Wilkins. I'm sure we'll see you again.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. Tengo que tener otro día porque no lo puedo
That concludes the
hacerlo hoy.
matters on today's list, sir.
Okay.
All right, does anyone have a question? Otherwise, we are concluded for today, March the 13th, for the Board of License and Inspection Review. Thank you all.